Welcome back to KG5, the second of the big statewide cup finals on today. Hobart Zebras defeating Launceston City in the women's earlier, but it is time for the Lakoseljac Cup final. The Silverware and FFA Cup qualifying spot on the line. Andrew Cooling bringing this one to you, and alongside me, two of my fellow colleagues ready for an absolute humdinger. It's Jake Eamon Morgan and Paul Funty Hunt. Gentlemen.
Pleasure to be here, Andrew. And the stakes don't get any higher than this today, do they? The chance to be Tasmania's representative in the FFA Cup. Both these teams have set that down as a marker this season, and it will be something that they will be absolutely hungry to achieve.
Absolutely, and obviously, as well as the FFA Cups, there's still plenty of prize with the Mill and Lakoseljac Cup getting a bit of a revamp this year. First of the new ginormous trophy, certainly one of the tallest trophies I've ever seen in Australian football.
Yeah,
it is huge.
It is huge, and I tell you what, they are packed in like sardines to see this one. The stand is absolutely full. Our commentary box has been invaded by people from everywhere.
Yeah, this is the most cramped commentary box we've had in our time up here.
We've just about got the fans on our laps up here today. They have absolutely packed into KG5 because they are as excited as we are about this encounter here today.
And we've also got them on the hill, a reappearance of the infamous front line. On the far corner there, let's see if they can bring some noise just on the left-hand side of the goals there. Look at that. Haven't been seen for a while, so good to see them back. And then what you can't see on the left-hand side, the wet area is pretty packed. Front left seats near the Knights bench is packed, so a good crowd here today at KGV.
And we'll take you through the teams in a second. We'll start with the host, Glenorchy Knights, when we get ready. And here they are, the starting 11 for Knights. And we'll start at the bottom. He's been the big story all week. They pulled the ace out of the sleeve on Saturday and said, yep, we've got a replacement for Matthew Nowicki. It's Danny Alsop. He will just be a like for like. I'd like your thoughts on that one first, gentlemen. What do you make of it?
I just think it's absolutely marvellous that they've brought down a player here today that has played for the Socceroos, Manchester City and Melbourne Victory, and he will just slot in perfectly for the suspended Matthew Nowicki here today.
I'm still very interested to see what he'll do out on the park, but the pre-game warm-up, it's just added that extra spice to it. As soon as it was announced, I was getting messages from people saying, this is your favourite player, Paul's coming down, and I thought, fair enough.
I was having a look at him, Paul, and I tell you what, he looks like a fit animal, Danny Alsop. He looks ready to play here today, and I wouldn't be surprised if he bangs in a hat-trick and helps these plucky underdogs get over the line.
Big call.
So we'll go through the rest of the team, and Callum Brown getting the start. No real surprise there. If there's one area the Warriors are perhaps a bit vulnerable, it's in the fullbacks. Callum Brown has been in scintillating form. He'll play on the wing. Number 5, Jade Clay, will line up at right back. Number 11, Duck Ingles, will start alongside Danny Alsop with the Duck. And there's the big inclusion. His brother, number 12, Kurt Engels, making a start. His first start in this competition. The Angle Grinder, in fact.
The Angle Grinder.
The Angle Grinder. He'll line up at left back. And what an inclusion he is. Perhaps even bigger than Alsop. He's an absolute prime mover, Kurt Engels. He'll come in for the injured Cooks. Number 6, Declan Foley. Number 20, Hugh Foley. The Foley boys, notorious.
They are two brothers who are not afraid to give the sword. Yes. So much so that if they pick up a yellow card here today, I've been given the hot shout that they would actually be suspended for the next game. So big pressure on those Foley boys today.
I don't think they can get through 90 without a card, but we'll see. Number 2, Tyler Harrison will play at centre-back. Number 22, Dimitri Nesta, who will be in goals. Number 4, Ben Phillips will partner Harrison. 14, the big general, James Sherman in midfield.
Sherman tank.
On the bench, Alessandro Bellini, Declan Brown, Samuel James, Alex Nandam and Alex Woodham. Incredible depth. Moving on to the Warriors, their opponents today from the NPL Tasmania. They'll come in as slight favourites, perhaps not as much as we might have thought, given it's a championship game against an NPL team. And we have a look, largely as expected. One surprise, number 12, Jack Callan, getting the start in there. Thomas Little and Ortman left on the bench. That last fullback spot was up for grabs. He'll start presumably at left back. Number 10, Thomas Bellini. Number 9, Shane Cartwright. He'll be huge up against the Foley boys in the midfield.
He's a beast.
There'll be some crunching challenges in there. Jacob Cole, a star keeper. Number 2, the Mountain, Lucas Hill. looks like he'll line up at centre-back today, and he'll be important in marshalling Allsop. A physical matchup for him. Number 6, Nick Mearns, returned to his best form last Friday night.
He needs a big game out here today, Nick Mearns, for these Warriors to get over the line.
And he is a match winner. He's just getting back to his best. He'll be key today. Number 18, passing a fitness test. A big inclusion up top. Jakob Schlenner, their star Czech striker. They needed him. They'll be delighted he's out there. Number 3, Paul Stevens. He'll probably play at fullback. He may be centre-back. We'll see. Either he or Vandermeer. One will be the right back. One will be the centre-back. And number 13, Huandi, you'd expect him to line up on the left. And number 7, Warren Wadawu. Good to see him in, also passing a fitness test. On the bench, the veteran Shay Hickey. Number 19, Thomas Little. The business, Mark Ortman. Mitch Stalker, the backup keeper. And James McCarthy will also be an option off the bench. So they are the starting lineups.
So we just hear the ground announcer belting it out to the crowd here, and don't they respond to it? Heroes of the local league down here for the crowd.
Interesting to see, there was another big fitness test heading into this one. Big Stratos, our official
fit
in the middle today. He will be starting in there. And,
because there was some fitness doubt with a little calf injury for our referee out there today, but he has pulled through, so there's drama in all areas today.
He is. So before we get started here, boys, we'll grab a tip. Funty, what's your tip for this one, mate?
Knights. I'm not sure what it is. I know Olympia's in the NPL. I know Knights are in the Southern Championship. It's not even just the inclusion of Allsop, it's also the inclusion of Engels. They got a good team, and they'll be up for it. We all remember in 2000 when our statewide cup changed to the Milan Lakoseljac Cup. They were the first winners. The trophy is named after probably their greatest son, so look, they will certainly be up for it.
Morgs, what do you got for me?
I want to tip the Knights, boys. I really want to tip the Knights, but I do just think that they've had a pretty decent season so far, the Olympia Warriors, and I think that they'll run out 2-1 winners today, though I hope that's not the case.
Well, way to pin your colours to the wall early on, as we see Bradley Lakoseljac presenting the match ball to our official out there. And it's a great crowd in here. It's going to be a great occasion. The stakes are high. The FFA Cup spot is on the line. We're going to have a new representative in the tournament. Who will it be? I say it'll be the Warriors. I've ummed and ahed on this all week. I've toed and froed. I've settled on Olympia. I think next week, along with Cartwright in the middle, I think they just have the edge. But this is going to be a tremendous contest. There's
so many wild cards, isn't there? You don't know what you're going to be turned up with from Danny Allsop today, slotting in for his first game in this Knights side. Engels back starting for the first time in a fair while here today. So a few changes for the Knights today. So you just really don't know what's going to be turned up. We're in for an exciting 90 minutes, possibly more here today.
And we're underway. The General Sherman gets us started. He launches along. There's that man who's in the team, Jack Callan. Early imposing himself as Foley. Get used to that. And Cartwright returns serve. And we've gone with fake news because Copper is blatantly in the middle, fellas.
Well, there we are.
In the middle, so that fitness test hasn't been passed. But we've seen that took 13 seconds for Cartwright to go bang on the new man, Allsop.
It didn't take long, and we're really looking forward to that Foley v Cartwright battle in the middle. Quick free kick. Here's the Engel Grinders' first involvement. He wraps his boot around it. Dealt with by Mearns. Undy has his pocket picked by Brown. And the Knights settle it down. Here's Brown looking to jump in. Wadawu. Oh, he's into the book early. Warren Wadawu. A slice of cheese. I'm not sure he did all that more than hold his ground. I'll have to have a look at the replay on that. He is steaming. Doug Engels giving a round of applause.
And we are right amongst the Olympia Warriors fans up here in the stand, and they did not like that decision. We'll just have another look at that one.
He's a bit late. I mean, look, first minute of the match, that's usually the one.
I think I'd give him a bit of a telling off, especially in a big cup game like this one very early.
Yeah, I think if that's in the 20th minute, it's a cheese. I think in the first, yeah.
Well,
you have to say that Callum Brown did make a bit of that.
He did, but that's what
You're not a fan of the flip, are you, Jake?
Nah, never a fan of the flip.
That's what he's there to do. Interesting that Duck Engels is the one taking this, not the big General Sherman. So what has the Duck got in his locker? He curls it in near post. Away by Bellini. And then Undy, well, wasn't too convincing. Clears the area, but the pressure's going to come right back on them. Bright start, Knights.
Pretty crucial intervention there from Bellini too, because otherwise it looked like there was a strong chance for a tap-in. Get the advantage early for the Knights as the Engel grinder heaves it long into the box, looking for Danny Allsop. Headed comfortably away. Ball falls back to Engels. Ball gets tipped back into midfield to Declan Foley, who looks to spread the play out wide. Knights starting very well here and looking very comfortable in possession, but poor little header on there from Duck Engels, again looking for Allsop. That could be a problem today if they look to be a bit overawed by the star signing and look for him a bit too much. They'll be looking to just play their natural game would be the better option to go with. But
yeah, I hope they don't get too put out. I mean, luckily for Allsop, he's a similar type of player to what Nowicki is. Obviously, Allsop with all that international experience, but that kind of player who'll charge down the centre backs and just be that physical presence as we see the ball play forward to Undy, surrounded by two players, and now Kurt Engel should have clicked that one clear, and I think he's hit that on the roof. Oh no, off the pole.
Good little intervention there from Sherman too to really harass those Olympia players, because he'll be needing to do that in midfield today.
Oh, and then we see that again. He's all over the back of him with his Foley.
He really doesn't plan to play the next round, even if they win, I don't think, because he's flying into challenges early and they just want the win today. It's good to see from Declan Foley. A real imposing customer out there.
It certainly is. As we see the Mountain pick up the ball, look inside to Cartwright, who's got a bit of a loose touch. He's got Allsop for company. And now Ethan Engels will pressure him, but Cartwright gets it away. Glenorchy, I think, just straight. A tad offside. Nestor under no pressure at all. Just hoofs it forward. Luckily, it goes to Foley, who misplaces it to Cartwright. You've got Foley behind you, and that's a clear kick in the ankles there. And look, if you're going to give that one to Adawa, you'd almost take that one. The game is played on, but Copper's certainly hasn't whistled for that. As we see.
Physical edge to this one early, isn't there, fellas?
Isn't there ever?
Not that we expected anything less from these two teams. They're not going to take a backward step. The stakes are high. There's some very
Who's
tough
getting the
players
send-off, boys?
Short.
How many, perhaps, is the question,
exactly.
not who.
Yeah, if you're a betting man, you'd certainly put on one for that, as we see Lucas Hill. Kicks the ball, looks to pray out wide, does elude Foley. Out to the left back, cuts inside. But good pressure there from Foley, good covering defence. Looks to play it forward. Ethan Engels, the referee, I think, just gets in the way there.
Yeah, good first touch from Copper there.
Yeah, good touch.
Nice and fit.
Mearns to Stevens, into Cartwright, in this Glenorchy. Plenty of space on this left-hand side. Can Vandermeer whip this in? I think he's kept that in and has, so effectively cleared from Tyler Harrison. Eventually out for a throw-in. Olympia just trying to get on the ball a bit to stay with and use this extra width of KGV. Guess it's their preference over Warrior Park.
So the Knights lining up in their usual 4-4-2 with Allsop the target man Nowicki normally is, and Ethan Engels alongside him. They've got Declan Foley out on the right and Brown on the left. Samuel James the man to miss out. Someone was going to have to miss. And they were rotating through at training on Saturday in that wing position. It looks like Foley, who didn't start in the 11 in the first half of the session, has been retained. Here's Nick Mearns. He curls this one to the back post. There's a sea of bodies. Oh, desperate block. Wadawu! Oh, clatters the post and somehow stays out.
And I think that was Hugh Foley with the crucial intervention there, just on the line with the rude headgear just before that replay. Hugh Foley saving possibly a certain goal for Jacob Glenorchy. Marvellous work from the wide man to be getting into those areas and covering.
Yeah, brilliant defensive play and lovely work. Here's Allsop's first involvement. Worked away wide now and a chance for Jake Clay, and the Knights will look to break. He sends it to the channel looking for Engels, but Paul Stevens is back there. It looks like he's going to play alongside the Mountain in the heart of the Warriors' defence. Vandermeer at left back. Here is the Mountain, who will be crucial, you'd think, in matching up with Danny Allsop. He's a good physical match for him.
Good ball-playing centre-back too.
And got that also touch of playing overseas and playing the Swiss second division for a few years, so he knows what a big occasion is like, as we see that played inside to Undy. Plays it out wide to Vandermeer.
And that is Paul Hunt showing why he is the professional commentator and not I. That's some good knowledge. Second division in Switzerland.
Yeah, he's come back at the start of this year. A real coup for the Warriors as Cartwright almost caught on it there by Allsop, but he works it across to the Mountain. And now Jack Callan, who'll have the acid test today. Flicked on well away by Tyler Harrison with a big ball chrome dome of Cartwright, the enforcer. Sent it wide for Wadawu. looking to get up and run a Clay here. He's building some speed. He surges into the box and hits the deck. And Copra tells him, get up. That looked a penalty to me.
And that is one of those situations where you expect the referee to say it's a cheese for simulation, or that is a penalty, because really I don't know how you could just tell him to get up after that. He's either simulated or it is a penalty.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, J.K. Morgan. That is certainly a one or the other. It's very hard to just play on that. Look. Here's the replay with Dawu, cuts inside. Foley.
No.
I don't think he's got much of him.
Really. But
good call. I tell you what, though, with Dawu already on a yellow, he's going to have to watch it. That could have been a very early shower. What a telling moment in the game that could have been.
Victor Moses about that one in the FA Cup final, boys.
It always comes back to Arsenal, doesn't it? Also, this one's worked for, but the mountain is there for the Warriors. He spreads it wide and sprays it horribly out there. And the front line boys down there who made their presence felt around the ground early in the morning, I'll say, are just enjoying that misplaced pass, I think. Cole will get this one.
Good to see some ultras down here in the local league, and they were certainly rowdy before the game, weren't they, boys?
Yeah, they decorated the venue in an interesting manner as this one goes into the middle. It's flicked back. And now Brown looking again. That Callan did really well to read the situation. Mearns gets the ball caught between his feet, but he worked at the hill, and the big mountain is striding forward. He gets around a couple. And a bit of push and shove, but that's clearly a foul by Foley. There's no way he's getting through this game without a chase.
I think that'll be his third foul already there from Declan Foley, and it was a big shirt tug, so really he's quite lucky to get away without a cheese right there straight away.
I mean, you call shirt tug, I'll call bear hug.
Good battle, though. Wasn't that brilliant work out of defence from the mountain, just striding through the middle of them, that ball-playing centre-back attribute that we talked about earlier.
Callan, his pass will lose with Dawu, just shielding it nicely as Glenorchy crosses in. And has that gone behind for a corner? It has. So the Warriors with a chance to whip one in.
Yeah, Nestor appealing that decision. He thought he kept that in.
Isn't that just a great turn from Jakob Glenorchy too?
Yeah, I mean, look, Knights have got two exceptionally solid centre-backs in Ben Phillips and Tyler Harrison, but I don't think they've come up against a player like Glenorchy for quite some time.
Yeah, not too many of them doing the rounds of the championship. With Dawu clawed away by Nestor. Might sit for Bellini. Volleyed it wide.
Just almost hit the outside of the post there too. Wasn't quite as far away as I was expecting that shot to be, but it was comfortably watched there by Nestor, the hero in the semi-final for the Knights.
He was happy to watch it wide as the lights start to come into effect here with this twilight kickoff. And what a cracking atmosphere it is around the ground. There are people everywhere. There's Cartwright and Foley duel. Then the mountain came through. He's imposing himself early. Wadawu slides it in behind for Glenorchy. He's got a couple in the middle. He cuts it back. Nestor did well.
Yeah, really, really good keeping, commanding his box there, because you just can't let those ones roll across the face or you'll give away certain tap-ins. Really good keeping from Dimitri Nestor. Just going to give the Knights a bit of a chance to settle on the ball for a second here. And they look to get it out wide to the angle grinder, who's quickly pressed by Wadawu. Just lumped forward, and Callan can intervene there, and imposing as ever from Declan Foley in the midfield. Seeing a bit of aerial ping-pong there.
That's good chasing down there, and I think he may have actually copped a little bit there to the face there as we see him still down. Play continues out wide, and Jay Clay looks to play it inside, sold short. The Dome Chrome picks that one up. I mean, Chrome Dome there's Cartwright still on the ball, plays it out wide to Glenorchy. We've got two to beat, but good covering challenge there. I think that's from Tyler Harrison.
We've still got Callum Brown down behind play, holding his face there. I think he copped a fair whack from the ball there, or maybe even an elbow, but hasn't been in any hurry to get back up and get going. Must be a bit dazed.
Yeah, and I mean, the keeper, I can't tell if he's trying to tell him to get up or actually trying to signal the referee's attention, as eventually Callum Brown will now jog back. Bit of a complaint down there made from the Knights technical staff, but we'll see the first corner of the match to be taken by Warren Wadawu out there.
Seen a fair bit of switching from Wadawu and Bellini early as he curls it into the box. Lovely ball. That's the first goal of the game, and it looks like Jake Vandermeer, I think it is, who's just absolutely belted it in.
Oh, the captain with the captain's goal to get the Warriors off and running. He is pumped. He made dumping contact with it, keeping it on piece, couldn't keep it out. The Warriors draw first blood here. Brilliant delivery from Wadawu, and Vandermeer drags the neck. Got too much off from Esther. And the Warriors are going to look at
Listen to those fans. Listen to those fans here too. The Warriors fans are going nuts after wrapping up the Under-20 State Cup here. They're on a good stretch to get it going here too.
A huge boost to the confidence early. And Vandermeer, he's been a leader of this side for a number of years. He was at the heart of them when they went to South Melbourne and achieved that huge victory in the NPL Final Series. There's his heart on his sleeve, and boy did that goal mean something to him.
Certainly did. It was a thumping header, and what a beautiful ball in from Warren Wadawu too.
Yeah, passed the fitness test. He's been injured of late. And
he's the assist king, isn't he?
Oh, they're desperate to get him in there. I mean, he's such a good supply.
Here's
That's
that man.
A raking ball to him. Wadawu now looking to run at the angle grinder. He swings it in. It's going to go over the head and steered away by Clay. Brown hacks it forward.
One thing I've noticed with Knights when they're looking to clear it, it's more just a thump clear. It's not a directed pass.
They're really playing that 4-4-2 system, aren't they, Funny?
Aren't they ever? And just cannot get the service to Allsop and Engels, who barely had a touch. As we see Lucas Hill now can bring the ball forward. He's got a few options short with Dawu offering. Takes that, tries to go to Callan. Not sure what's happened there, but Wadawu wins the free kick, but Foley has stayed down.
Yeah, I think this is the old one where you go, oh, I've been hurt, so please don't yellow card me.
Well, he's clutching the knee. I'm not so sure there, Morgs. He might be, he's either still in it or he's really hurt. I think it might be the latter. But
it would take a lot for him to be down.
Kick.
He's clutching the knee. We hope he's all right.
Well, we certainly do hope he's all right because he's a pretty tough customer.
Vital way. I mean, they play that 4-4-2 because they got he and Sherman holding down the middle.
Struggling to straighten it at the moment by the looks of it. He just went to kind of put it a bit flatter, and
he's in trouble.
Good sign.
What a blow this would be if Foley wants to have his night ended early on. He's stretching it out now.
As soon as it goes down flat, he grimaces.
Getting some attention, real concern this for the Knights. They've already copped a goal. They would not want to lose. Yeah, midfield maestro.
I think Declan Foley would play on one leg, boys,
I think he
because the bloke's a tough customer, and we've already seen that in that game with how much he's snapping into tackles early, and it's good to see him up and walking because we're a big fan of him up at Slice of Cheese.
I love his work, the midfield enforcer. The Mountain. Back to Colt. The Warriors have controlled the possession early on in this one. They're moving the ball with purpose. They're stroking around. And as you mentioned, Knights, it's just a bit hoofball from them so far. They've not really got a foothold in this game. Here's Bellini. They're linking up. They've got numbers down this left-hand side. Bellini, they're attacking with speed. The youngster threading it through, looking for Glenorchy. Almost fell out the back for Undy.
Well done, Tyler Harrison.
Very nicely done. Vandermeer now whipping the cross in. Away by Ben Phillips. Now the Sherman tank. Foley back on. And he was just a little half-hearted into that one, which is very unlike him.
That's the first time I've seen a half-hearted challenge from him ever, as we see the Angle Grinder pick up this throw. He's got option short, but he has a huge throw on him. That's good, Angle. So that off a standing start. All right, in the path of Brown, but couldn't quite get to it, and Hill humps that high in the air. I think that one's landed just in the grandstand.
There is a part of me that suspects that Foley could have snapped his ACL and he's just playing through it.
Well, he would play through it, let's be honest.
Who needs him?
I'll tell you what, Danny Allsop, I'm not sure he's had a touch yet in this one. They've not been able to get it to him. The big target man, he's not really getting on the end of much.
Yeah, looking a bit isolated early on here with this 4-4-2 formation, and it's leaving a great big hole in the midfield where we're seeing Mearns and Cartwright just occupy that space, and it's causing real problems for the Knights early on. And they started very promising in the first couple of minutes, but they get a break here with Hugh Foley. Danny Allsop can't quite get on the ball.
Just overstretched, but Brown will win that one back. Still getting in everything is Declan Foley, but the Angle Grinder just misplaces that nearly over his head in the path of Glenorchy. Brown gets muscled off it from Cartwright. Wadawu picks it up, trying to find a play. Probably should turn out, but finds Cartwright with a great little chip through ball. Glenorchy out to Wadawu. He's got the Angle Grinder for company. 1v1 down in that corner.
And he does grind that angle down, doesn't he?
Yeah, doesn't he ever? As we see that played into Mearns, who's 18 yards out, looking to take on the victory defence, Knights defence, whipped in. just cleared now. Sherman will clear that one out. But Jade Clay on the right-hand side. Allsop and Engels for company. He's got Engels short, but plays it back to Sherman. Again, finds Engels eventually. Goes to turn out, but that's a poor ball from Engels. And Olympia can reset through the mountain. He's got Callan bursting down this right-hand side, slightly under-hit, and lovely cut out there from Angle Grinder.
Yeah, beautiful challenge there. He was very aware of that ball being played out there and was chopping out the space and went to the man at the right time. Good D.
Certainly did, as we see Knights. Bit scrappy here in the mountain. We'll pick it up. It's an attempted slide challenge from Sherman. No contact made with Dawu. Nice bit of skill. Slips over but keeps the ball. He's got 3 down that side to beat, but finds inside. Back to Cartwright. He's got Mearns behind him. We'll take it to Mearns. Now with Dawu. Now just reset through Stevens at the back. He's got 2 out wide. Ends up finding the goal scorer Van der May. Now inside back to Mearns. He had Bellini on the overlap, but chose not to. Mearns trying to hit a cultured ball out wide. Dawu doesn't quite get there. It's a good covering.
Sat up
there
a bit
from
more
Brown.
Slowly than he thought, I think, there with Dawu. And
yeah, I think
just giving them a chance on the break here, the Knights, as the ball's lumped long. Allsop intercepts, looks to go to Engels. Engels could be played through here. Great defending from Stevens for Olympia there. Forces the corner when it would have been a one-on-one. Absolutely crucial intervention.
And that's the class of Danny Allsop there as we look at the replay. He's clearly being shirt tugged, but still gets the pass off. Engels trying to probably go over the nutmeg there on Stevens, trying to get onto that right foot of his, which can certainly whip it in. We'll see Duck Engels now taking the corner.
Yeah, he might not move as well as he once did, Danny Allsop, but he's still strong as an ox there, and he took some ringing down from the big mountain and forges the first corner of the game. Knights' best moment so far, as this one has swung in near post. It's a poor delivery, and Mearns steers it away. The angle grinder, back to Foley. Stevens didn't deal with it terribly well, but Cole will be able to collect. We might just set Frogs up there for a half second as this one's rolled to Paul Stevens. He'll saunter out of defence with his usual swagger. He sends it wide for Bellini. Glenorchy, pressured by Foley, turns back inside. And he loves that little turn move.
That's one for the highlight reel.
Oh, you pull out another half dozen by the time this game's end. He loves that move, Glenorchy. He executes it so well. Just rolls off defenders. As Callan goes back to the mountain.
They're certainly looking a lot more willing to just hang on to the ball, aren't they, Olympia Warriors? Really looking to dominate this play early. And it really absolutely is playing into the way that both these coaches set up early on with the 4-4-2 playing against a 4-2-3-1.
Mearns looking to make something happen. He's got on the ball plenty early on. And you've got to say, through the first 20 minutes, it has looked like an MPL side versus a championship side. There has been a bit of a gulf between the sides and the way they've approached. That one eludes Sherman and it's picked up here by Undy.
He's got a pressure after that.
And now Glenorchy back to Undy. Waits for the run. He jinks back and curls. It's onto the woodwork. Hugh Undy within a coat of paint from making it 2-0. The Warriors all over them. And that was not far away from doubling it.
That was some disappointing stuff from the big General Sherman there, because he gave that ball away and just put in absolutely no effort to get back. And it really looked like they had the numbers there. Another break for Olympia. It's Undy. Undy belts it for the far corner. The tap in for Glenorchy. Double save from Nesta.
Oh, Dibby Nesta.
Fantastic save.
Oh, he's just bundled about twice there. First save superb, and then the rebound, the break back the other way. Not dealt with by Callan. Took a heavy touch inside.
Oh, Dimitri Nesta keeping your team in the game. What a couple of saves there. He's come up huge for the Knights.
Yeah, clutch stuff from the Knights. Number one had to be, but they're being cut apart like the knife through butter here at the moment as Wadawu sends it through. Harrison sweeping across.
Oh, Foley's still really not moving well out there. It's really disappointing to see because we love that player.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to be able to go on a whole lot longer. He's the type of player who needs to be playing on the edge. He needs to be playing with that intensity. I'm not sure he's capable of doing it at the moment.
I mean, they've got options on the bench. I guess they can put... I mean, James is a bit more of an attacker, but they could switch the players around. They just need that extra engine in there, as we see the Olympia Warrior in the background barking, I'm sure, encouragement to the Knights keeper there.
Yeah, Francis Callan doing his finest work there in the full...
And Foley's down.
Knight Kitten, that looks like Foley. His day might be done. He's shaking his head, and this is a huge blow for Knights. And now it looks like they're going to have to take a shuffle.
He really tried hard to keep going too, didn't he, Foley?
I reckon his brother might have to take his midfield spot, and then James to come on and play on the right. That would be my guess, but we'll wait and see what Franco Providi has up his sleeve. He's going to get some treatment.
There is one potential positive that they could take out of this, is that he hasn't picked up the yellow card yet. So if they do happen to get over the line,
I like your wishful thinking,
it's
Jake
very,
Morgan.
very wishful, isn't it, boys? But we'll try it.
Yeah, I tell you what, I've heard of glass half full, half empty approach. That's an interesting one, trying to find the positives. He's back on his feet, but he looks pretty resigned to his fate. And unfortunately, Foley's day has come to an end. This is a tragic blow for the Knights. He's an inspiration for this team. And
just gets the round of applause there from the crowd too.
Yeah.
Declan.
The end of Declan Foley's day. Now we'll wait and see who comes on for him. No movement just down in front of us as of yet.
Don't think there's anyone warming up yet, but I would be inclined to think it'd be James or possibly maybe Nandan at a stretch, but I'm sure that Franco Providi hadn't prepared for this eventuation at all.
Danny Allsop, who's stepping into the centre of midfield for them at the moment, it looks like. Certainly got the strong body that is needed to play in an imposing game like this.
Yeah, just dropping back in. They're down. It's a 10 for the time being. It looks like maybe Brown. Declan Brown maybe will come on, and I'd imagine Foley will slide into central midfield to replace his brother. Yeah. Sherman sends a long, searching free kick. Ooh. Just eludes Jade Clay, who bombed on there, the fullback.
A good run from Jade Clay, and very well spotted from Sherman. That's a fantastic 60-yard ball he's hit, and not too far off the money as Glenorchy will attempt to chase that one down, but to no avail, and a Knights throw in on this far side as we see that change confirmed.
Substitution for Glenorchy Knights. Coming on, Declan Foley. Coming on, Declan Brown.
And I was letting Glenn McNeil get that substitution out of the way there. He's done a very good job over the PA system, so that's Declan Brown on for Declan Foley.
So one twin combination broken up, replaced by another as he joins his brother out there, and they'll play on opposite flanks. He's the angle grinder. Sends it down the line for Brown. The run at Callan. Had some support from Cartwright. Worked it to his brother, but he couldn't get past Lucas Hill. And then Cartwright is dwelling on the ball. Looks at long. Glenorchy. Beautiful little touch for Undy. He's running at Harrison here with confidence. He slides it through for Glenorchy. And Nesta did well. Glenorchy not quite his clinical self. He tried to dink him, but Nesta did brilliantly again.
He normally buries them, doesn't he, Jacob Glenorchy? And isn't he having a wonderful game out there, Dimitri Nesta? He has been the Knights' best player so far, because they really could be 3-0 down if it wasn't for his save so far.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree there. I'd thought all money there. Jakob Glenorchy, one of the most potent strikers here in the NPL. Taz would have slot that one away, but no luck as the ball falls through to Engels. Now to Foley. Only Foley remaining on the pitch, and also plays a nice ball. It's nearly out there to Brown. Oh, that was Sherman. Well cut out from Callan. Now to Harrison. Knights can look to rebuild here through the angle grind up. Down on the left wing here. Searches forward for Ducky's brother, but good clearing header there from Paul Stevens, and the goal scorer Vandermeer will pick it up on the left-hand side here. 25 minutes gone in this Lakoseljac Cup final. 1-0 to Olympia Warriors, and the Mountain picks it up.
Yeah, for our interstate viewers, you'll be pleased to know we're living up to all the Tasmanian stereotypes, with Knights possessing 3 sets of brothers in the one team. As you know, we are all related, and there's the proof.
Proof in the commentary box too.
Our blogger and our commentator also cousins, which I knew nothing about, as this one swung down the line here, and Undy's in behind. He's got Glenorchy in the middle. He jinks onto the right. Just corralled well by Jade Clay. Controlling it, wants some support. Gets it from Mearns. Got around Brown, but had to retreat. Oh, lovely spin from Nick Mearns. The Knights have done pretty well there. They've just quelled the momentum a little. Warriors controlling the ball. Here's Bellini. Harrison couldn't deal with it. Glenorchy. Harrison again. Well defended, Tyler Harrison. And he plays it down the line for Duck Engels. And the Duck Just plays it out
fighting
off the
hard,
opponent.
well done. Just surrounded by 3 players there. To even get a throw out of it is really well done from Duck Engels.
Yeah, certainly is, and hopefully Knights can build from this throw. As we've talked, they probably haven't had as much of the ball as they'd want. And fans out in that far corner there looking a little quiet, as that's a smart throw in from Jade Clay with Ben Phillips in plenty of space. Plays it out to Kurt Engels, who just misplaces that pass to Brown with Dawu. Nice bit of skill to get around Brown. We'll look inside, direction of Glenorchy, looking for Undy. Those two have clearly been working on their combination play during the week as Undy keeps going.
Undy.
But got Brown for company. What can he do? He can find the ball in, actually gets to Glenorchy. And the referee has
Just blown for a late foul, I think, on Undy.
Yeah, just in the far corner there, just out of my line of sight, but certainly looks like a free kick.
It was a really good run from him too. Showed fantastic touches there and good strength to hold off the challenge. Put in a decent ball, and now he's also won himself a free kick for his team in a very dangerous spot for the Olympia Warriors after they scored the first goal from a header. And Jake Vandermeer is looking threatening up around that penalty spot, isn't he?
Oh, he certainly is. And
that same man to deliver, Warren Dawu.
Yeah, it's Warren Dawu over the ball. Plenty of movement from the Olympia players. Goes near post, scramble and bang to the back post. I think that was Hugh Undy there.
It fell to Undy too, and he just couldn't quite get enough power behind that shot, and it's just dawdled across the face of the goal, really.
Yeah, it has. I had the pole obscured for me for Hugh Undy's shot there, and if he made any more purchase on that, he had a goal bound, as you see. Undy again muscled off the ball and out for a throw in.
Once again, it was the postman, Warren Dawu, just delivering. He has been immense so far in this one. He just supplies so much ammunition. You can see why they were so desperate to get him fit. He's a big part of this team, or perhaps some of their recent performances without him. We're starting to see the hole that he leaves in this team, and maybe even that yellow card in the opening minutes just put a bit of fire in his belly.
He's one of the most unselfish players that you see in NPL Taz too. He's got that real beautiful streak that you see in a player where he'll beat a couple of men, could have a shot himself and just lay it on a plate for someone else. So we love Warren Dawu, and he's having a very good game here today with the assist early on.
As we see the free kick given to the Knights. Bit of a foul on Ethan Engels up top. Again, that switch ball, fortunately just slightly overhit, but Phillips will pick it up. He's inside. Brown doesn't get it back to Sherman, so plays it back to Jade Clay, who's immediately pressured from Bellini.
How good has their pressure been today, the Olympia Warriors boys? I don't think that they give them a second's rest, because you can just see that every single time a pass is played, where it's going to, that man is getting pressured immediately.
As we see Allsop with the big header trying to look for his strike partner forward, but to no avail. As we see with Dawu on the ball, plays it forward to Glenorchy. Great right foot touch, and that's a nice ball from Dawu. Slightly overhit, but well kept in from Bellini, and Vandermeer picked this up on the left-hand side into Mearns. Tries to go around, but well intercepted. Allsop's through in the middle. They could just get it past Stevens, but held the line well, did Stevens.
Did quite well to win that ball back, Brown, in a dangerous area. Just disappointing that the final ball wasn't better.
Yeah, absolutely. As sliding in goes Hugh Foley. Bit more of a challenge. It's a nice touch. Plenty of space here. Ethan Engels just can't get the touch and then cops one to the face. Now Kurt Engels goes firing in on Dawu. Gets it well. After Brown again tries to look for the 1-2. He's got plenty of players on the far side, but just overhit. Stevens will clear that. Now Hill. It's a foot race down here between Glenorchy and Phillips. Oh, sorry, Hugh Undy, my apologies, and looks to go inside.
He's going to have to go himself right here. He's got Glenorchy in the middle.
Oh, unfortunately just slightly overhit for Glenorchy, but nice play from Hugh Undy. Had the 1v1 situation and got the cross in. But yeah, look, very smartly left there from Jay Clay as well. He clearly knew there was no one behind him.
Good awareness.
I think we've got an Olympia throw in. So the breeze just picks up here at KGV as night falls. Back to Hill. The Mountains not let anything through so far. And Callum, who plays it back to the keeper. And can just keep this possession style that Coach Kenny Weston loves to play for Olympia. And now we see a crossfield ball looking for Dawu, but Engels will clear that one comfortably. Brown on the ball with Callan Pace. Under hits that pass. To Brown now with Darwood. Looks to play the chip through Boldish Glenorchy, but Dimitri Nesta will pick that one up easily.
The Warriors just in complete control at the back. Everything that Knights have tried to produce in the final third is just being shut down by that Stevenson-Hill combination. They're in complete and utter control. And they're cutting off the lines of supply pretty well. As this one's punched down the line from Mearns, but the pace is with Tyler Harrison. He's got some very good wheels for a centre half. Nesta was pressured by Glenorchy and just affected the kick a little. The ankle grinder gets on it. And well done there in the middle of the park by Brown, and a raking pass looking for Allsop, who still hasn't been sighted too much. Here's Mearns, threads it through for Bellini. Looks to run at Clay, who got a foot in, and Harrison whisks it away. Vandermeer, centering ball, and not a back to his keeper there by the angle grinder.
Yeah, again, good spell. Dimitri Nesta just barking out orders, trying to get his team to be a bit more relaxed here as he bombs that one forward right to the foot of Cartwright, not the person who he was after, and now to Witawa. Glenorchy just ended up in an acre of space, touches in on it, trying to get on his right foot, and perfectly done from Jakob Glenorchy. What a goal with the outside of the right foot from Olympia's top marksman.
Pure class, the Czech striker. He beat Tyler Harrison and smashes it home. It's 2-0 Warriors, and it's been coming. They've dominated this opening half hour.
They have utterly dominated it. And we'll just have a look at the goal again here. Look at the footwork from Jakob Glenorchy. Almost can't quite get it out from underneath, and then just slots it with the outside right boot.
Nesta wasn't expecting it on that side, especially with Harrison covering, but he's killed that right into the far corner, and you've got to say, 2-0 down. The Knights have done it before, but it's going to be a big ask.
Yeah, long road back, and they haven't done it against a team like these Olympia Warriors. They are absolutely fired up tonight. They're all over them.
Is that these Olympia Warriors that are behind the Devonport Strikers who the Knights beat, boys?
Well, that is true.
I'm not calling curtains on this game yet. We've seen these Knights come back.
Yeah. They are capable, but they're going to have to find a new way of doing it, because at the moment they are just being thumped from pillar to post by these Warriors. They're playing with a real sharpness that Knights simply can't deal with.
I really think it's almost time to drop one of Engels or Danny Allsop back into the number 10 kind of role and try and get a bit more link going in this passing, because they really cannot hold on to the ball and they're looking very isolated, the two of them.
Well, they belted by Cartwright and Mearns in the guts. Mearns with a raking ball down for Jack Callan, who's overlapping. He's crept in behind the ankle grinder. He puts it in the middle for Scott, who put it just wide. Superb football from the Warriors. From one end of the pitch to the other in 2 seconds.
And I tell you what, I was just mooting post-game that the Warriors might not enjoy what is a bit of a bigger pitch than the old hockey centre over at Warrior Park, but they are having joy with a lot of this space here today, aren't they?
I mean, really, that pass from Mearns is absolutely exceptional and
clinical.
I mean, you'd expect Glenorchy to at least put that on target. He's not too far away, but yeah, good to see as we see. Again, it's certainly that link play you were just alluding to before that shot, Jake, that they just can't quite get Knights. They're getting it to the midfield, but getting it from midfield to forward is where they're really struggling, and that Cartwright Mearns in the middle is certainly having a big impact on that as we see Cole is picking the ball up.
It's just how good the Warriors are in their shape when they're out of possession too, because we know that Jake Vandermeer can play fullback, and we're quite often seeing him slotting right back in next to those two centre-backs, which is just really making it impossible for Duck Engels and Danny Allsop to work.
Oh, they just haven't been able to get on the ball, simple as that, as Cartwright's just sitting there picking everything up, and through Mearns plays it back to the mountain. A skidding ball out wide to Vandermeer, inside to Bellini, who's certainly tucking inside. He's got Vandermeer on the overlap. Now plays it inside to Glenorchy, who's surely tripped there by Phillips. Will that be a cheddar? Will that be a cheddar? No,
I think it will be. There is a slice of cheese out there, and he doesn't look too happy about it, I think, Phillips.
Oh, he got turned all ends up there from Glenorchy.
You can't have any complaints. That's a very clear one.
Seriously dangerous spot, isn't it, boys? I'd fancy myself from this free kick.
Well, you'd be the only one at this ground who would. There's Nick Mearns with a chance to step up here and really drive a dagger into the Knights. It might just be a little bit too close, if anything, just outside the box. But
I think we've said that before, watching free kicks here, when the big General Sherman belted it in.
And Nick Mearns is every bit as capable. He can strike a very nice football, Mearnsy, and he's really roared back into form in the past couple of weeks, and he's having a tremendous impact again. It's Nick Mearns over the dead ball. What's he got? He curls it just past the post. It dipped, but didn't have the line.
Oh, it was a beautiful free kick, really. Just, yeah. Look at the dip on that one. Keeper's got absolutely no chance if that's about a metre to its right. Really good effort.
As we see, the goal kick taken from Nestor. Put on the wrong foot of Phillips. He usually prefers something. That's a poor giveaway. Undy with the ball, tries to turn, turns again. Unfortunately, I think that's just deflected there on the Knights player and eventually cleared. As we see, going out wide. So Brown is trying to figure out how to get out of this hole that the Knights are in. That's a great run. He's got 3 inside.
Oh, Jade Clay.
Jade Clay finds Allsop, actually goes over his head. Touch forward from Brown, but can't quite get in. And now Wadawu picks it up on this right-hand side. He's got options inside. Eventually gets it back off Undy, and
we've got big Lucas Hill looking to get into the action now. He's wanting to get onto the goals as well.
Nice run. He'll be annoyed at that, the centre back. They like to get the ball when they eventually make those once a game runs, as Mearns does a nice touch
Mearns
into Glenorchy. Turns again. Knights player just waves him away. I think he actually got beaten. All ends up there as Wadawu looks to play through Glenorchy, but between Phillips and Nestor, they'll have that one covered.
They're really putting on a clinic out there, that Olympia Warriors midfield. I'm just constantly marvelling at the positional awareness of both Cartwright and Nicholas Mearns in the middle.
Yeah, look, it's certainly been a feature of this match. And then Wadawu on the other flank has been a feature, as well as Bellini. Look, they're just giving Mearns and Cartwright the ball here. No pressing up on the centre mids, and that's just allowing them to play balls like that, which I think will just skid a bit too far on this surface. But you've got to say, they've been absolutely superb this half, Olympia Warriors.
I think they've been taken a little bit by surprise, the Knights, by the pace and intensity the Warriors have brought. Whilst they've beaten NPL opponents on the road here, Devonport very much a counter-attacking team for the large part, the way they set out in that game. They don't quite bring the blitz the way these guys have, and the Lions parked the bus against them, and City they destroyed. They've just not faced anything like this year, and I think it's overwhelming them a bit, and they've not been able to settle into the game. The Warriors have been tremendous. Jade Clay has been battling hard and trying to make things happen for his team, and again Paul Stevens just cuts it out before anything can develop, and then the arm bars just put on the Stevens, and he gets the free kick.
Stevens has absolutely put Duck Engels out of this match just by getting every single intercept. Every time either the winger or Jade Clay try to play it through.
Callan again bombing on, trying to get in behind Engels here. And Engels recovers, foot in from Callan, steered away by Phillips to Brown, who just hesitated a little and let the postman get back on it, and he's going to send it wide to Undy. Undy floating inside as he does. He's passed just behind Glenorchy though, and Brown cut it out. Danny Allsop, nice tidy work there to Brown, who took a heavy touch. A lunge and Hill could stop him, and Brown's in behind. Cole off his line. Brown with a cross. He couldn't sneak in. Just forced him wide enough there. Knights' best moment of the game.
Starting to see a bit of that class from Danny Allsop just here, as he plays a beautiful ball through to Brown, who takes a couple of good long touches there really, and puts the keeper in some doubt, but you really think he should have put it into the middle there, because he had Brown and Duck absolutely waiting to receive that.
Burnt him. Had to put that in the middle for the Duck. And that might have been the lifeline they needed there, the Knights. Goal on the counter.
Big chance, and that might just shake the Olympia Warriors and just... Oh, it looks like they've got Paul Stevens coming off for a second down here too.
I think it's just blood rule from that arm bar earlier. It may have produced a bit of delayed claret, so temporarily down are the Warriors. I think Cartwright's dropping back into that centre-back role for the moment. That's an air horn right in my ear. As we see, Ben Phillips.
Better than the Vuvuzelas, Paul.
Oh, just.
I'll cop the air horn all day.
Just as we see the angle grinder playing it short to the very pacey Brown. So after more options here, should be a switch of play, and there is Tyler Harrison He's got plenty of room to move up.
That beeping is just the sound of Declan Foley backing up on the bench. The big truck.
We see Allsop have the ball in the box, but Hill takes it off his foot. Very well done there on the mountain. He'll get the ball back and thump it clear. Only as far as Garrett Engels, who'll play it wide to James. Let's see what he can do this time against Callan. He'll surely look to burn him for pace, and he does. Tries to send a left foot in, but Crankley just kicks the ball out of play. And now it's remonstrating. I'm not sure with either himself or the referee about that one. You see Paul Stevens jogging back on the pitch.
Cartwright just tucked in as Cole plays short. The Warriors are very much committed to playing out from the back, and they've moved the ball about superbly in this first 42 minutes. Been a Christmas to their passing. There hasn't been from the Knights. Here's Stevens. That one's pounced upon by Foley. Vandermeer recovers, and he'll get the throw in for his side. Bellini wants it quick, but instead he'll go back to Paul Stevens. And he launches it long, which is not something we've seen too often from the Knights. Here's Foley, the flying doormat. What can he do? He turns sharply, but the Warriors had the numbers to deal with him there.
That was an interesting decision there from the linesman.
I thought that was a shirt pull anyway on Foley, but
he's battling well in there.
And I think it has been called as the shirt pull. So.
Quickly taken there by General Sherman as the ball goes to Clay, looks in the box. Really nothing doing, and they are utterly exposed here, the Knights on the break. Yeah, really good covering though. Really good covering there.
Good intercept there. And Bramber couldn't quite get there and just leaves the foot in on Cartwright, but Undy picks the ball up, 1v1 with the angle grinder. And that's, again, good covering defence. I think that's Jay Clay coming all the way over from right back as see the quick throw in taken. Eventually falls to Undy, who's in the box. Nesta comes out, Undy still with it, and he misses from 4 yards out. Hugh Undy, you got to question, why not use your left foot in that situation, son?
Oh, even when he went on the right, how's he conspired to put this past the post? Sherman's just turned it over. He's got around and you've just got to score that. I don't know how he's missed it. That could have been a good night. And a big blow, that one. That should be 3-0 as Wadawa again, the postman. What's he got? He sends it in, but that's going to be Nesta's. And the Knights really should be 3-0 down.
Marvellous pun game calling. Good night. I love your work here. As we got Jade Clay streaking down this flank here for the Knights, looking to get him back in the game. Allsop makes the run, looks to put it on his dome, but a poor ball taken over there by Lucas Hill. General Sherman looks to play in Allsop. Nothing doing again from this fabulous Olympia defence. Look forward again to Allsop. Just jinx it outside there to Hugh Foley. Looks to play it to Jade Clay, but again, recovered by this Olympia defence who've just been outstanding.
Yeah, I think that's a foul from Foley, and that's...
maybe.
Maybe. Just a maybe.
That's another one for the compilation video.
And whoever has made that compilation video of the Foley boys and the Knights giving the sword, we're excited about it, and we thank you for your marvellous work.
3 votes. 3 votes.
Absolutely.
Modern masterpiece as the Mountain picks it up. I think you'll see that one in Cairns maybe a little bit later in the year as this one's picked up by the angle grinder into the middle for his brother. Allsop's making a run. Vandermeer has position on him though. That's a suspect header and Allsop will pounce and he just couldn't generate the power and Cole denies him. So they've had a couple of chances towards the end of this half to get themselves back into it, Knights. Allsop just tried to place it.
He was covering quickly there, the Mountain too, to force him to take that on his left boot. So again, good defending from the Olympia Warriors. Just putting the pressure on that shot, 1%er.
Falcon right to the head of the General Sherman there, but eventually falls to Wadawa out wide. He's got Glenorchy running in. 1v1, actually gets the ball in the centre, and that's right where he would have been if he wasn't grossing it in, as we see the ball effectively cleared, and Allsop going up for it against Stevens. Now he's got Cartwright for company, and Cartwright just shields him off it. It's a few options inside, and Cartwright is certainly one of them. Now Callan on this far side, but just can't quite get under it. And eventually the angle grinder will play that out for a throw-in. And Olympia Warriors just letting that one sit in their technical area.
As the mad race to the wood-fired pizza oven begins from the spectators here, sensing half-time and just a sense to just jump in ahead of the crowd. as the Mountain wins this one. And back to Wazawu, who has been absolutely electric in this first half. Mearns robbed of it by the general, but Mearns kept on fighting. He didn't win the battle, but he won the war. Sends it back across. And that's slightly under hit back pass, but Cole is alert to it off his line. Punts it down the middle. Phillips away from Glenorchy. In the middle, Bellini just hesitated a little and then sliding in was the flying doormat. He turns. And the Knights haven't got long here, I wouldn't have thought. They're going to want to get it forward quickly. Copper has a look at the watch. It's chipped over the top for the duck.
Onside.
Duck angles with Stevens. Forces him wide. He fires it, but it's well wide. And well done, Paul Stevens. Just shepherded him out that way. And that will probably be that for the first half, I'd have thought.
I think I heard over the announcement 3 minutes of stoppage time, so there might be an extra one.
Interesting.
Coming here. I couldn't agree more. Maybe for that Declan Foley double down on the ground, so we've got to do it twice as we see Cole take the ball. Nice smell of wood-fired pizza wafts over the commentary box here at Slice of Cheese. And the aforementioned people going to get it. So we see the Mountain on the ball on the right-hand side here. Looks to play it forward, right to the head of the angle grinder. Sherman will play it back. See Tyler Harrison. Now plays it out wide to play. He's immediately closed down. Slightly under hit, but eventually gets to Phillips. We've got about 20-odd seconds here, Knights, to get the ball forward. Now to Kurt Engels. He plays it back to the keeper. Another look at the watch from the referee. Another look at the watch. Still nothing. So we see Harrison now just lumping it forward.
It's part of the magic of the cup, a little bit of extra injury time, I think, boys.
Yeah, I think so. But unfortunately, I think that's going to be it now.
So there we go, half-time, and what a first half from the Olympia Warriors. 2-0 they lead. They've been absolutely immense. They've played with an intensity and purpose. They jumped them early on, and they're good value for their lead. Glenorchy Knights have got some real soul-searching to do here. You have a look at the stats.
They really do.
That tells it all. It's been largely one-way traffic. Knights did have a couple of looks to get back into it, but certainly Warriors have got 2 goals and they haven't been particularly clinical. Nesta's been great. It probably should be more than 2-0 in truth.
Yeah, Nesta's just been the Knights' best player here today because they really could be 3 or 4-0 down without his interventions here today. But I will take a little gripe there because we know that the Knights have got one on target from Daniel Allsop, though it was a bit of a tame effort, but we're hoping that this game will explode in the second half, and we've seen the Knights do it before against the Devonport Strikers, so stay excited and stay tuned in, people.
Well, they're going to have to dig deep to pull this one out of the fire because they have been badly outplayed. We'll leave you with the highlights of some Vision Warriors fans are going to be absolutely loving. They've got 1 foot in the FFA Cup round of 32. Can they put the second foot in as well? We'll find out with the second half coming up shortly.
32. Please present yourself to the Warrior and make yourself known.
The media up here. It's a great setup. It's not a bad setup. Get another 45 out of them. Start down here. I want to go downstairs.
Janis, travolíseme.
Marios, tu zgamame, mate.
A pa kume a povče.
Hey. Yeah, mother's only on that park. 4-5. But also it's taken a position that someone else who's been training, working hard. Okay, Naviki got sent off last week on Monday, and this is out this week. Okay, where's your plan B? Is your whole thing on Naviki? Is Naviki? If he was at Olympia with the Johnson, he was we had him, remember, you had him 2 years ago. Lasted 5 minutes. No problem. Love it. Very, very good.
Welcome back to KG5, where the Glenorchy Knights have got an absolute mountain to climb. They're trailing 2-0. The game really should have been put to bed by
A couple
the
of
Warriors.
mountains to climb, actually, there, Andrew.
Well, Danny Allsop's going to need to climb away over Kilimanjaro up the back there for the Warriors in Lucas Hill. He has been immense, but really they are fortunate to still be in this one as we have a look at the 2 goals from the first half. Warren Wadawu swinging this one into Jake Van der May. A fantastic header there, despairing Nesta unable to keep it out. That was 1-0. And
Didn't he love it?
the big captain was pumped.
Look at that.
Tremendous celebration from the big fella. That was 1-0. And it soon got even better for the Warriors. And Wadawu again involved, threading this one through. Harrison had just been sucked upfield. Glenorchy spied the gap that was there at the near post, outside of the boot. And perhaps Huandi just watched that a little bit too closely because he tried to replicate it 10 minutes later and gained the chance to make it 3-0. So 2-0 the score as we start the second half. Gentlemen, how do Knights get back into this one?
Well, I think it is just the fact that those front 2 are looking incredibly isolated out there for the Knights in Engels and Danny Allsop, because there's just that position in between them and their midfield pairing in which Cartwright and Mearns have just sat for the Olympia Warriors and soaked up every single piece of pressure that has been offered like a very hungry sponge.
Yeah, certainly. They've not let anything get between the midfield and the strike force of the Knights. Allsop's had absolutely no service so far today, and to be fair, neither has Duck Engels either, so that's probably the main thing.
They're ploughing, they're certainly ploughing the furrow for them, but they're going to really need to drop perhaps a little bit deeper, at least one of them, if they're going to start linking up and really starting to create a few more chances, because at the moment it's just this Warriors press is just giving Glenorchy all kinds of trouble, and they're just having to lump out the long balls to try and get through it, and they'll have to change that in this second half if they're to pull off a second miracle after their comeback against Devonport from 2-0 down.
And we've seen them do them before. I guess that is one thing in their favour. They've done it before. They obviously this will be a knock to be 2-0 down, but they can build back from it. And probably all Olympia has to do is play the same way. I thought they were probably certainly one of the better halves I've actually seen them play this season.
What the Knights can do too is just get on a roll, as we see the General Sherman bringing his troops back out onto the pitch. But they can get on a roll. So I have to say that if they are plucky enough to get the chance to get this back to 2-1, they will fancy themselves the Knights, and it will be an exciting contest from there on out.
Yeah, they're going to need to be big improvers on that first half, though. There was a fair gap in between them. I've got to say, Kenny Weston has got this Warriors side humming along beautifully. This is the best they've looked under his tenure. But they did fade out last week against the Lions in the second half. If you want to be looking for positives from a Knights perspective, they led that one 3-0 at half-time, and it finished 3-2. And fitness has been something that Weston has questioned of his playing group. So if they can pull one back early and hang in there, you never know what can happen in a cup final. But certainly on the evidence of the first 45, there's been a fair golfing class between the two thus far. As we resume play with Nick Mearns, who was, if not the best, the second best on the field in that half. He Cartwright utterly dominating the middle of the park. Wadawu also fantastic. He gets a touch here. The General works it back and into the path of Brown. Duck Engels bursting out to his right if you can feed it to him. Instead goes to his fullback Jake Clay. Down the line for Brown, but that'll be eaten up by Cartwright. Just starting to hit it poorly. They want it back though.
You have to say he'd have a full belly today, Cartwright, with the amount of balls that he's been eating up out there.
Just devouring them in the middle. Here's Undy. Still not entirely sure how he missed that one at the end of the first half.
Lay off him, Cooley.
No. I keep seeing that moment over and over again. As this one's worked out wide and a chance for the Warriors to surge forward through Jack Callan, who had a pretty good first half. He's somewhat of a surprise inclusion into the team.
And that man, Undy, is just lurking far post, and he's not been picked up. In a fair bit of space, though. Clay's just noticed him.
Well, it's the business Ortman getting a touch, so someone's been hooked here for the Warriors.
I was just thinking that. On the right-hand side, Callan's still there as that's him chasing down, and Cartwright's obviously still in, bustling through there. As you see a nice run from Bellini. Well, another sub, and that's a clear shirt pull.
And it's Bellini who is off.
Yeah, Bellini's off. Bellini off for the business. So the Biz getting a run. Interesting.
I mean, Bellini didn't do a whole lot, but in defence he didn't really need to that half, so it's quite a surprising change there. But as we've seen throughout Kenny Weston's reign, he's not afraid to make an early sub, as he's done that before. I think, was that to Ortman at South Hobart, or was that Little?
I think it might have been Tommy Little, but he's certainly done it on a couple of occasions, pulled the trigger early. As this one swung in, I think he made a sub at the half-hour mark of one game. He does like pulling the trigger, and here is that man just on the park, known as the Biz. And he works at the Cartwright. Undy. Norman heavily involved early. Down the line for an overlapping Van der May. Couldn't quite control it, Glenorchy.
He's down behind play, holding his ankle too, Undy. And he looks to be in quite a lot of discomfort, really. Certainly rolling around there, and he did get caught.
Yeah, he certainly got some studs.
Just put the ball out of play now, I think, Dimitri Nesta.
He certainly got some studs right to the ankle after he played that through ball before to Van der May.
Got rather cold, sorry.
Who's just checking in on him, the Olympia Warriors captain.
I think he's in trouble here, Undy. He's been clutching that ankle.
Really did look like he copped a fair whack on it too. But this will create the drama at the end, won't it, boys?
I was going to say, how much stoppage time?
Extra stoppage time for us here.
They like adding to the drama of the cup to the Olympia Warriors.
Yeah, nothing says more dramatic than a 4-0 lead and 5 minutes of extra time.
There's always one.
Just my humble prediction.
There's always one.
Just my prediction. But unfortunately, this isn't looking good for Undy.
No, he's certainly spending a long time down here in some discomfort.
It's looking like
perhaps it's a flashback.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But been shaping up to be a pretty successful day for the Undy family. Monique, a big part of the Zebras' victory in the Women's Statewide Cup Final, 1-0 over Launceston City in the early game this afternoon. Had a fine game, and Hugh Undy, Mrs. Side, was a very lively customer.
He really was. He's had an absolutely marvellous game, other than that single point that you boys keep bringing up. So I'm going to give him credit. I think he's been quite good out there today. I remember one particular jinking run outside where beat about 3 separate players and then won the free kick for the team, as well as getting the ball into the box. So I've been quite happy with his efforts there today, and hopefully he can get up and continue playing.
Well, he's walking off and putting weight on it, which is a good sign. So maybe it was just a bad
Certainly
stinger.
one of those whacks you get on a piece of bone, and then you don't want to get up for a little while, but you can run them off.
Certainly manager Kenny Weston not looking to his substitutes, so I suppose we'll take that as a sign that he should be right to continue. Paul Stevens at the back to Van der May. The Knights looking to press now and put some pressure on them. Glenorchy nods it towards the business Ortman, who just turned around nicely, but he's coughed it up to the angle grinder.
Like to hear that from the crowd getting around there, man. The business Ortman.
Absolutely, real crowd favourite is the Biz, as we see Van der May. Back to Cole, who's signaling everyone to get wide. And to Stevens, back inside to Cartwright, who's dropped really deep here. And to Mearns, and to the Mountain. Just looking to pass it out from the back here. Olympia, now Callan thumps it forward. Nest is forced to come out of his box, and Madawu doesn't quite get there in time, and Cartwright with that ball in that midfield battle with the general. And the ball's Mearns out to Adawu. Got the angle grinder to beat. Cuts inside. He's gone inside about 3 Knights players and then has to play through Glenorchy, but
Just a hint of offside about Glenorchy there, so I don't think the Knights were too worried about that one, but it was a beautiful little run on the inside there, wasn't it, fellas?
yeah, absolutely. Maybe he took it slightly too far, as we see the Knights now trying to play it out from the back through Tyler Harrison. No huge amount of pressure on him, and we can see Engels.
Yeah, he is dropping a bit deeper this half, isn't he? So perhaps Mr. Pravides had the same thoughts that we were having at half-time there.
I assume he put a mole up here in the grandstand to listen to our expert commentary, and he's just taken that on board.
Dubious.
He's very dubious as we see a nice turn inside on Brown. It's an out wide to the angle grinder, whips in a lovely looking ball, and Cole claims that one on the hop.
Undy coming back on.
Need to see a bit more of that from the angle grinder as Undy's getting the wave and comes back on the field. Now we see Vandermeer on the left-hand side. Into Mearns. Plays it out wide to Adawu, who's got a very willing overlapping runner in Callan, and chooses to ignore him and just play it straight to the Knights defender. And now the general will get on the ball. We slightly overhit that one to Engels, but it might just stay in, and actually it was Vandermeer to slip over and copped him right in the face.
He did have to intervene though, the Vandermeer, because Duck Engels could have been away, but it certainly looks like he's taking a bit of a free role in this half, and I'll praise the Knights manager for that decision, because it could really help them get back into this game.
Stevens steers it away. And General Sherman flicked on in the Allsop direction, but the mountain was there. Allsop just wanted the free kick. He had no real case though. Cross to Jade Clay. Fakes the cross and then looks to charge down the line, but the Bears was tied to him. Played it back through the legs. Now Foley. Glenorchy away from him. Everyone appealing for it, and Copra says you can have it, Knights. Tyler Harrison to take the throw in. He's going to defer, in fact, to Jay Clay. Just close-up shot down there of the action. You can see the crowd in behind the goals. They are packed in there. And they have to, because the grandstand's been full since about half-time in the Women's Cup final. And Stevens steers it to Lucas Hill.
You know, with all that money the government's giving to Belred Oval, I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more thrown out here at KG5.
Yeah. Due a grandstand extension, and I think this thing's been the only thing here since about the 60s.
I think Cambridge very much where they want the money to go, but we'll see as the foot race is on here between the Duck and the Mountain. And the Mountain winning that one comfortably down the middle. Tyler Harrison with a towering header. Again, Lucas Hill comes through though. He has been pure class today. Undy back to Hill. He's storming forward and he's got the Biz in a little bit of space, but he just undercooked it. And that will be picked up by Nestor to Harrison. The Knights
He's been really good today with the ball at his feet, his distribution and his saves, to be honest, Nestor.
He's been very good. This one might spill out for Tyler Harrison. He chips it over the top of Mearns and he's off. He's bitten off a bit.
He is off.
He's still going.
He's still going.
Brought down by Stevens. He beat two and Stevens just hacked him down in the end.
No foul given though. Wow, one of those cases where because he's jumped over it and there's no contact, there's no foul, but he's certainly a check at least.
Very, very stiff. That was some very nice work as Cartwright looks to charge through. The general, back to Kurt Engels. He's inside. The flying doormat. Again, Cartwright was there breaking it up. Ooh, finesse ball in the direction of the Duck. It might sit for him. He couldn't direct his volley, but a push had been blown anyway, so it would not have counted.
Just have another look at this one. I'd really like to see it again because just a bit of a push there from Duck Engels.
Yeah, big distinct pushing motion. There might not be much force, but when you've got them fully extended, I think you're in trouble.
Just extends the wings there and flaps him away.
Here's Stevens out from the back. And the D's taking up the position on the wing. Inside for Glenorchy. Broken up by Harrison. Back into the path of Altman. Mearns. Beats one, beats
Oh,
two, then
man.
beats three, and then gets dealt with rather unceremoniously by the general.
Is that Nick Mearns or? Won't bring it back to Arsenal again. Sorry, boys. Don't worry.
You actually missed my Arsenal reference in the early commentary, Jake. I needed you here.
But free kick here to the Warriors. In not too threatening a position, so you'll think that they'll probably just recycle this rather than lumping it forward, and they do. Just played short to Vandermeer, who goes back to Stevens. Back outside to Vandermeer. He's got Undy taking up a great position up the touchline, but it's intercepted well by Hugh Foley, who looks to get Duck Engels on, but he's overhit the ball there, unfortunately.
Yeah, look, the pass was on there to Duck Engels, but just slightly overhit. And I can tell you what, fellas, there's got to be a ban on people having chicken salt chips next to us and not offering to.
I was just thinking that.
My
I'm
God.
furious.
As we see Foley sliding into the challenge there, Mearns is copying it this half.
Yeah,
On the flying doormat.
whoever's brought that food up here next to me,
Yeah,
just shame on you.
yeah.
Shame.
Turn it up.
We're
mate.
trying to work.
This is a working environment in this corner here, as we see Cole under absolutely no pressure whatsoever. Eventually lays it out wide to Vandermeer. Is it forward to Undy? Now Cartwright, nice one too, but a
Clay.
good turn from Jay Clay. Played forward again, but just under hit. Duck Engels just behind the defender. Phillips trying to get that, but Glenorchy with the pace down this left-hand side. Lays it back to Cartwright. Out of the Biz. Back to Vandermeer. Mearns after it. Vandermeer hasn't really got too much to go as Foley unceremoniously clips Vandermeer from behind.
I think he wears the headgear in case somebody comes and meets him in the car park afterwards, to be honest, because he's certainly not afraid of knocking a bloke over, Hugh Foley.
Yeah, another one for the video. It's getting longer and
Yeah,
longer.
it is getting
by the
longer
minute.
and longer. The Knight's given the sword.
That's going to be a 6-minute edit by the end of this match, as we see another sub being made here by Olympia.
He does make the bodies hit the floor.
As James McCarthy prepares to enter the fray. We'll see who he replaces. I'd suspect maybe Undy, but
I think the only body hitting the floor so far has been his brother, unfortunately.
Oh, he certainly made Jake Vandermeer hit the floor then, and he's a big unit. Good to see.
so James McCarthy will enter the fray for Hugh Undy. Probably a little bit precautionary.
Tell you what, they've certainly won up that signing, haven't they? They go to Everton if you go to Danny Allsop, don't they?
Yeah, that would be an interesting one. I'm not sure how that one will get through.
Where did they pick up McCarthy from, though, Calling? If you could inform us all.
No, very.
South.
He's the trivia buff.
I did literally read this.
England.
I think it was Gloucestershire.
Yeah,
I think I read that.
That sounds about right.
I'll just name a shear that is so obscure that no one will question on it, and you're safe, Paul.
This one smashed long. He did an apprenticeship at Reading FC. I can tell you that much, James McCarthy. So he's clearly got some stock as Stevens works this one back to his keeper. He punches a volley in the direction of the Biz. Nodded it out beautifully to Mearns. And now Mearns is off. And he's back in full flight. Didn't get the return ball from Altman though. And it's so good to see Nick Mearns back in form. He's such a good footballer.
Yeah, I didn't even know that he was capable of jinking and running like this. Oh, and a great coming together there from the Engel grinder and Warren Wadawu, the postman, out there.
He was
Threatening stuff.
Mearns was just streeting ahead in the Mitsubishi Medal last year. He would have wanted a canter before a mid-year injury derailed him, and he's just taken a while this year to get back to his best, but he is just about there now.
Curse of the commentator there as Mearns gives the ball away and the Knights get on the break through Danny Allsop. Looks to run into a bit of space, but it's the usual lump forward ball, and the Olympia defence have dealt with it well. Hugh Foley gets onto the ball though, jinks one side and just, gets absolutely chopped down there by Stevens, and he's given absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the crowd's not happy about that one, Jake
Oh,
Morgan.
I'm not happy about it, mate.
You're not, but as we see,
It's just a blatant foul.
eventually the Knights get it back.
As the referee's champion gives him a bit of shtick.
I was going to say, it's a bad one when Jake Morgan's arcing up about a refereeing decision, as this one's picked up by Wadawu. Penny for Frontline's thoughts down there in front of the goal. Yeah, as Engels won't get there before Glenorchy. Plays it back for Cartwright. Right, with a lovely ball out towards Ortman, but
well
Jay
done.
Clay, he's fought hard, Jay Clay. He hasn't had a lot in support, but geez, he's battled hard, the Knights fullback. He's won plenty of duels.
Almost think he was fouled then too. I think he got a big slice of him before the ball was gotten there, McCarthy.
Important intercept there from Phillips, only as far as Vandermeer. Now the new man McCarthy. Oh, it gets sliced from Foley afterwards. McCarthy was not having a bar of that at all. Welcome to Tasmanian Cup football, James McCarthy. You see Warren with Darwin now on the ball. Looking for the chip through ball in this Clinage, but it's certainly straight a yard or two offside there right in front of us here.
Yeah, perfect view of that one and a good decision. Just straight. The Knights with half an hour here. They can get one. They can make it uncomfortable for the Warriors, and you never know what can happen as Duck Engels sends it over the top for Brown. He's got Callan marking him tightly, and young Jack Callan has defended stoutly so far today. Engels bombing on. I think we'll see a lot more of him in advanced areas as they chase this game.
And they're just starting to sit back a little bit more, the Olympia Warriors, don't you think? Just starting to invite a bit of pressure onto themselves. We saw Devonport make that mistake against the Knights a couple of weeks ago, so certainly still game on here, people.
Absolutely, Jake Morgan. There's a huge gap between Clinage and the midfield line, which wasn't there in the first half. The Knights can potentially capitalise here. As you see, Engels with the throw. He's got 3 people in front of him, all of him with these huge throw-ins he can hit, and pumps it right on the head. With Brown, but no luck there. Eventually comes back to him. And that cultured left foot. So you see Engels duck inside. Fortunately, just haven't really found anywhere to go there. And Sherman, but eventually plays it inside.
Ball.
Now Brown's got that. Surely Allsop's got to be in the general direction, but bustles right into Cartwright. Take it quickly. And we see the Biz down this left-hand side. He's got Harrison for company. Eventually we'll look to check inside. Trying to get the run of Mearns. No avail. And now the ball is recycled out this left-hand side. And that's, I'm assuming, in a shot on goal.
Ambitious, and I don't mind the ambition, to be honest, because Cole was well off his line there. So who is it? Who's it with this shot? It's Brown, isn't it? Just seeing the keeper off his line and thinking that he might have a go at it. And you've got to say that if there'd been perhaps a bit less on that, he could have had Cole worried.
Yeah, Cole, an athletic sort who would have fancied himself to get back to it, but he was certainly playing a high line and to make something happen, that moment of inspiration. Didn't mind it from Brown. As the Warriors look to play out here, but Tyler Harrison jumps the attack. He works it forward. Allsop's there. He turns onto the right. Lucas Hill, imperious. He brings him down and wins the ball away. Wadawu down the line for Sklenage, up against Phillips. He's got 2 in the middle, a bit of a 3-on-3 if they can move it quickly. Wadawu's continued his run.
Oh, well done, Clay.
Played it well, and then the positioning of the general in the middle was spot on. And now he looks to get involved, swing it back the other way, but he's turned it over here, and Sklenage looking to jink past Engels, who wasn't having a bar of it. The Knights playing themselves into trouble here.
Just bailed out by his angle grinder there, wasn't he?
He was, as this one's down the line for Brown, who looked to run at Vandermeer. He just got a little bit of contact, and it's enough to draw the foul.
I think they'll be pretty keen to get a free kick in this spot. The Knights, when they've got bodies like the big Sherman tank that they can throw forwards, the new signing Danny Allsop, they'll fancy themselves here, and I would love to see young Tyler Harrison getting forward too.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he will, just for the pace of Clinage, and unfortunately I'd also like Kurt Engels just to sit outside the box. He's got a good hit on him as Jay Clay whips that ball in. It's a nice ball, but just over the head of Allsop, and rolls out for a goal kick.
Yeah, he's been pretty well held tonight, Allsop, but he's always going to be dependent upon service, and they've just not used him well at all. They've not hit his feet, they've not used him in the target man role he's there for, and he's not going to take the ball in midfield and beat 3 men to make things happen, and they've not really utilised him the way you'd expect.
And the front line clearly not happy there, just giving Jacob Cole a bit of a shower there, a bit of a beer shower. Anyway.
Charming individuals.
Yeah, absolutely.
As Cole prepares to take the goal kick. It looks like Samuel James is preparing to come on for Knights. They have to start throwing the kitchen sink here. Allsop nods it in towards Foley. They'll get the throw in. We've got 25 minutes here to find 2 goals.
And the change is made.
Who's it going to be? And that'll be the end of Kurt Engels' day by the looks of it. He was never likely to run out the 90. He's not got a lot of minutes in the legs. He put in a pretty good shift, but his day is done. And on comes James to replace him.
Yeah, it looks
And
barely
we see
spent there.
Clay going out to that left-hand side, which was occupied for this game by Engels. And the new man, James, slotting into right back, taking on Mark the Business Ortman, who's been lively since he's come on. Probably looked Olympia's best player in this second half, I have to say.
Yeah, it's been an impressive shift. I imagine James is going to be pushing on pretty high up the field here. He's played as a winger a bit for them. And we might see more in that role. He might as well lose 3-0, trying to get it back to 2-1 here. Knights, here's Mearns. Foley spinning, running the ball well. Right to James. He'll switch the play up to Clay. In the bullseye. A raking crossfield pass, but it's only Jake Vandermeer there. Now the flying doormat. Back to James.
Here we go.
James onto the left. He swings it in. But there's no one there on the end of it. And Cole collects.
Maybe slightly too close to the keeper, but had a good shape on it, especially for a first cross in from James.
It really is looking like there's going to be 2 ways that this game is going to go, though, isn't it? Because Olympia are just inviting the pressure on at the moment. So you have to say they're either going to hit them hard on the counter-attack and put this beyond any doubt, or the Knights are going to snatch one here and bring it back. And they've looked the more likely team to do it at this stage.
Yeah, they certainly haven't had their attacking verve of the first half. Olympia maybe just trying to keep that 2-0 safe. But as we've talked about before, fitness has always been an issue, especially the last month for the Warriors, as we see the Biz pressured by James and harried off it, but straight to Cartwright, who's come for that chip through ball to Glenorchy. Well cut out by the general. Back to Brown, who plays it out wide. Unfortunately, not quite the purchase you wanted on that one, Brown. Back to Cole. Plenty of room down this left-hand side for Olympia Warriors. Paul Stevens laying a nice through ball to Vandermeer. They got Glenorchy short. I think that's Nick Mearns bombing on down in the left wing.
He's got Glenorchy open in the middle too, and he tries to look for him, but well intercepted by Tyler Harrison. Very well done, crucial interception there.
I was just a bit shocked to see Nick Mearns bombing on that far, as see that in the direction of Duck Engels, but once again he's having to chase.
He can certainly dribble well enough to be a winger, can't he, boys?
He certainly can. See, they played short to McCarthy.
McCarthy's just come on and sat himself pretty much between the 2 centre-backs, playing nice and deep as they look to just protect this 2-goal lead. And so far, so good for the Warriors. They've not looked too troubled despite an uptick in possession here, as now there might be an opening. Here's Brown looking to run to the box. Paul Stevens. Oh, he's fouled him there, surely, and it's inside the box, so it's a penalty. Well, it's off and a lifeline.
Wow.
A little tug of the shirt.
Holy dolly, what a decision from the referee as we get half the grandstand looking around to our TV right here, and we'll all get a good look at it. And the best save ever from a lovely lady in front of me. Very well done. Marvellous. But I think that it's almost a step outside there.
I don't know about that. On replay, that did seem just to be out, but
Duck Engels stepping up, and I think you've got the call for this one, mate.
So, Ethan Duck Engels to give the Knights a lifeline. He steps up and dispatches it. Game on! Game on!
That is game on there from Duck Engels. Cool as you like. I was in the penalty shootout a couple of weeks ago.
I'm getting
one and then had it retaken.
I am getting deja vu, boys, and I am getting chills because we've seen the Knights do this before. I think it was a penalty to bring it back 2-1 against the Devonport Strikers.
A similarly phantom penalty, I might
And I think it was a similarly beneficial call, and they look rattled, and Lucas Hill is in there just marshalling his Olympia troops together because they are coming, the Knights. They are coming.
I'm expecting
They're giving him the sword.
I'm expecting an aerial bombardment for the next 20 minutes, fellas.
I think the message from Hill would have to be, look, we've scarcely looked like conceding in 68 minutes of play. We've been in control. Let's not let this change the way we go about it.
Olympia side has gotten themselves in trouble. Oh, we'll just leave that thought for the moment because it's Glenorchy!
response! What a response from the Knights! Walmadamu to Jacob Glenorchy. How is that for an answer? They've recomposed themselves, and that might be that.
Warren Wadawu has posted that letter. Look at this. Clinical.
Scrap any analysis we just had in the last minute, boys. That is an absolutely fantastic response from Olympia Warriors, and they are up in this grandstand and loving it.
And it started with Nick Mearns in the middle, dissecting the defence with a perfect ball to release Wadawu. He put it on a platter for Glenorchy, who did what he does best.
The thought that I was going to finish with, boys, or just as they'll get it restarted again properly, the thought that I was going to finish with is that this Warriors side always look much better when they're attacking the opposition and not sitting back and inviting the pressure on them, because we've seen them drop games this year, a couple since the sacking of Mr. Shaw. I believe it was against South Hobart in particular, where they just allowed the pressure to be invited upon them. But look at what they can do when they get forward, this classy outfit.
Oh, it was a blink of an eye. They say you're most vulnerable just after you score. That was the case. They perhaps just thought, right, we're back, and switched off defensively for half a second. That's all it took. And here is the postman again. What's he got? He just turns and lays it back. Terrific response from the Olympia Warriors.
Jeez, I tell you what, Jacob Glenorchy owes that man Warren Wadawu a great big hug after this game, because he has fed and clothed him tonight.
He is Cartwright, lays it back. And how disheartening must that be for Knights? So we give it a chance.
They'll keep fighting.
Oh yeah, there's no chance of the Knights stopping, as we see. Foley
very happy George Babarkas has just popped up here in front of us.
very happy.
A pretty happy Olympia president in front of us. It doesn't come any better than that, does it?
Maybe worried about our slight Knights excitement earlier, as we see.
It really was.
Foley
Beautiful.
on the ball.
Warren Wadawu, the postman. And he's just come across to sing the praise of his players here, the president, and rightly so. It was a marvellous goal, and what a response after what is a dubious penalty.
It was, and at 3-1, I think Knights have just had their opportunity to get back, and I'm not sure they're going to get another. Here's Engels. He lays it back to Harrison. He'll be looking to throw the kitchen sink now, surely. He plays it back to James. Across to Ben Phillips, pressured by Wadawu. And he just thumps this one along, but nowhere near Allsop and Stevens. Cartwright shields and turns. He's been immense, as has Mearns, who gets a kick. Well, not in the view of Copra, though, who says play on.
There's another kick as well in the centre of the park, and he's not going to pull that one up.
He played advantage for that. He saw that from Cartwright.
Quite a long advantage and quite a foul that's probably missed there by the referee.
I think there's about 3 fouls missed there from the referee. You see the replay of that one.
We'll call it a liberal approach, boys.
Yeah, I think that's a good way. And the fire engine in the background as well, lighting up the night sky here.
I think it's ambulance in the background there, Paul. This game is so exciting, it's giving conniptions out there.
Yeah, I'm just praying that's not for any players out here. Obviously, last time we were here at KGV, someone did end up in hospital, so...
The great King of Devonport.
The great King, all hail the King.
He certainly looked a better player than Danny Allsop's looked out there for the Knights tonight. The King.
Well...
He's offside, Glenorchy, surely, yeah.
Oh, that was the look away flick through, though.
Oh, we don't mind that.
The president of Olympia in front is not happy with that, but I can assure you he was about 4 yards offside. As we see that long ball through to Allsop, but couldn't quite get there. And Cole comes out to claim that one.
15 minutes to go. The Warriors on the precipice of victory here. And that coveted FFA Cup spot. They'll represent Tasmania. Long ball in the Glenorchy direction. His header just will sneak away from the business Ortman here on the left. But I think the crowd just sensing they're not far away here, the Warriors.
Yeah, I think this grandstand's been populated with a lot of Warriors fans. Not saying there's not a lot of Knights fans, I just think they're behind the goal as we see Glenorchy And Phillips just losing that under the lights of KGV. Falls to Wadawa. He's got Glenorchy again. Got the wrong side of Clay.
He turns.
Glenorchy, shoots and save from Nesta.
Oh, he's been good.
Fantastic save, but great.
He has been brilliant today, Nesta.
We look at him turning. Clay all ends up.
Yeah, good save from Nesta. Who's really kept them in this one. It's the scoreboard might say 3-1. It's not been that close on the balance of play. Nesta has made a number of big stops in this one.
Nesta's been magnificent today.
As we see, that one taken short by Wadawu. He's pressured out of it there from Brown, but wins the throw in down there in the corner. With people well rugged up in that corner. You see,
Darwin clutching the knee.
Not even any particular hurry to take this either.
Well, he's down. That is not good to see, the postman. Somebody might have to get his motorbike out there to him.
Yep, as we waving the physio on. In fact, I think the physio from, finally.
Well, it'll give us a moment
there
to talk about this player, boys, because hasn't he been spectacular today, Warren Wadawu?
Yeah, he's been very, very lively down the right. He's made plenty of defenders miss. He's created chances, he's created goals, and there's a clear difference with this Warriors team when Wadawu is starting. And we've seen that today. And he's been amongst their very best.
Just been... Service has been absolutely gobbled up by Glenorchy on a couple of occasions too. So worrying signs for Olympia here with this brilliant wide man out with crucial games coming up and what looks to be an FFA Cup entry for them.
Yeah, they've got Devonport in the MTL next week. So I don't think anyone will be looking to that one just yet.
All eyes on this match in particular as we're seeing
Bellini.
Hugh Foley jogging off the pitch. Both Foleys not finishing the match, which is a surprise, and one of our commentators' favourites, Bellini, coming on the pitch.
I do like the Magic Man Bellini, but I don't think even his spells can get them out of this mess at the moment. As we get a close-up of the flying doormat there, and he's finally
wearing lycra
shackled.
shorts out there too, I think. Lycra shorts for Alessandro Bellini.
Yeah, he's going to have to pull off his greatest magic trick yet if there's any chance of this one. We're ready for the restart now.
Throw in Olympia.
Nerds presenting short, and I think he might be featuring quite prominently on my ballot for the player of the match, fellas. Nick Mearns. What a performance he's put in.
Oh, it's just hard to pick between the three. I think for me of Hill, Wadawu and that man you were just talking about, Mearns, because the three of them have just been utterly spectacular out there, and Cartwright's been just superb in the midfield too, gobbling up everything coming forward.
Probably the best match I've seen Cartwright play as well for this season. I do agree. Fortunately, the tipping is 3-2-1 for the Meteors. That's a huge throw-in from Jade Clay, but well cleared and then thumped high in the Glenorchy night sky from McCarthy, but Sherman picks that one up. Now Harrison looks forward towards Engels. Bellini gets his first touch, but Mearns turns away, finds Van der Meij, who's the furthest forward down this left-hand side. Now that's James looking at that forward. He's cannoned off his teammate.
Solid unit.
And eventually they've now played it out the left-hand side with Jade Clay on the ball. Now to Brown. Back to Clay. Now, and Phillips. He's got a few people. He's got Allsop off the shoulder with Hill for company. Cole is looking to take that one out. Allsop doesn't challenge in the end, and that's out for a goal kick on the 80th minute mark. Cole is in no rush to take this goal kick. He's copping a fair bit of abuse from that bloke behind the fence too. I don't think Cole will be bothered. He's got the scoreboard to point at the moment.
We've got a steward over there to protect him. It's all right.
I reckon in 10 minutes' time he's going to be able to turn around and give him the big fist bump and let them all know.
Pump that club badge in about 10 minutes' time.
I think I know who I'd rather be as it stands.
Yeah.
This one will fall, and Callum will just let it run out. And
He's had quite a solid game out there too, Callum, coming into this lineup.
yeah, he was the one who got the nod at fullback. There are a few contenders for that position, and I think he's absolutely vindicated Kenny Weston's faith in him today. He's put in a very good shift, Jack Callum. I think there are a few who could have played that role. You've got Little, Samet, Lehman, but certainly I think the right decision's been made. As Harrison works it across to James. If Knights are going to pull anything out, they need to start now.
Just look at that press. 4 Olympia players immediately straight across to close them down. And it's been happening all game. Let's not forget that this is the 81st minute that we're into now, boys. Some really good shape when they don't have the ball.
McCarthy sends it down the line, the Glenorchy direction, just held up in the breeze. He just brings it down with a silky first touch to set himself. The real feature of his game is General Sherman, the
well done,
business,
General.
biting in at him, but just infringed a little. And the free kick will go the Knights' way.
Shielded the ball quite well there, the tank, as the ball's just lumped over the top towards Brown. He won't quite get on the end of that though, and it just peters out for a throw in to Callan.
That one certainly caught the wind, which is picking up here at KGV Park. As throw in taken, eventually finds its way through to Mearns, now to Cartwright. He's got Glenorchy short. He's now going to play on the far side. It's a beautiful through ball.
He's onside.
Glenorchy is onside. He's got one in the box. It's the Biz. The Biz! Oh, it's just wide. That's not too far away at all. It's a lightning counter-attack from Olympia. And now, eventually, Jade Clay picks the ball up and get it back from Bellini. Not too much pressure, but it just lumps it through it. I think Hill's going to out-head a short Ethan Ingles any day of the week. Glenorchy with a nice back heel. He's enjoying himself out there. There's the striker. Now Vandermeer, a good amount of space here. Got McCarthy inside. Eventually goes there. Goes back to McCarthy. He's got Cartwright inside. He's got Glenorchy, who now runs back onside. That's who he goes to. He's got Phillips for company.
Wadawu on the overlap too. Mearns.
Mearns almost slips over. Plays it back to McCarthy. He's got a good shot on him. That's a good save from Nesta. There's a big talk of, especially when McCarthy came over, he's a good free kick taker and a good hit of the long shot, and he certainly got enough power on that one.
Yeah, hit it well. Timmy Nesta again with a good piece of glove work. That one a bit more straightforward, but still had to be saved, and he's done very well there. Nesta, and keeping some respectability to the scoreline. So Darwa, the postman, across to take another corner. The minutes ticking by. The Warriors edging closer to the Lakoseljac Cup and indeed the FFA Cup. They can almost taste it. There's Wadawu. He's got a few to pick out in the box, and big bodies they are. What can he conjure up here? He sends it in the Lucas Hill direction. Just getting a touch on it was Danny Alsop though. Now a long ball is controlled by Stevens. Got in there, won it away, but General Sherman picks it up and threads it through, and here's a chance for Knights. It's Brown storming into the box. He fires, and Cole denied him with a fine piece of glove work. He had to make it, and he did.
He had to make that save. You're absolutely right, Andrew Calling. And, oh, geez, I almost feel like he could have looked to the other Brown brother in the middle there too, opting to take the shot from outside the box. But they win themselves a corner here after a nice save from Jacob Cole in goal for the Olympia Warriors.
That would have made it interesting if that went in 3-2 with about 6 minutes to go, but
absolutely.
We'll see what happens
from this corner. And they've thrown the bodies forward here, the Knights, and rightfully so, as Vandermeer just heads it into the back of his teammate, or Mearns it was rather. And the ball is cleared. They'll look to get it back in very quickly, and there is not a man back for the Knights here. There's not a man back at all.
Yeah, the high press is on in full. There is Dimitri Nesta, and then there is no one in about 60 yards of space.
A little bit of foul throw about that one, but it's absolutely lumped out here, and Jacob Glenorchy, and the race is on between him and James.
He'll get there, and Nesta has got time to fire it back, just waiting for everyone to get back on side, but it's a bit of a low ball. It's straight to Wadawu. There's an out wide to Brando. Looks inside. Nice run.
And he's onside here.
Run. Looks inside, but needed to play that back to the penalty spot where Alsop was in a good pocket of space there.
Yeah, just perhaps lacking a little bit of awareness there when Danny Alsop was in a good spot They haven't quite used him very well here today, the Knights.
Well, they've looked better since switching to the 2-0-8 formation here in the last couple of minutes of the Knights. And now with a chance for Rangers, General Sherman falls to Brown. He storms into the box. He fires! And it just creeps past the post.
And I think that is a save from
got a
Cole.
piece of that.
He's just given the hands like he's got a bit of a touch to that, winding it up. Let's have a look.
Yeah, that's a great
That is
save.
a marvellous save from the Olympia Warriors goalkeeper to keep it at 3-1. Magnificent work from Cole.
He hasn't had a lot to do today, but he's come with two huge saves when it's mattered most.
That is the mark of a quality keeper.
Got the nod of approval from the president, who's still in front of us and riding every single event here as we see it.
Curled in
to the back
Who
post
is
up there, and it's over the bar. I think that was
Daniel Allsop.
may have been Allsop at the far post. There's that many bodies in there for Knights, it's hard to tell.
Got to say,
It's a good ball in, and that is...
should do better. Should get that one on target.
Yeah, he's got to.
Yeah, he's got to. You get your marquee player in, free header, back post, 85th minute.
It was the moment. They've had a couple of looks
They've
here.
had a couple of looks here. Nervous times for the Olympia Warriors if they're going to let these Knights back in it. If you let them get a sniff, they've got that much heart that they'll just keep on coming.
Doug Ingles flicks it on. Paul Stevens away. Mearns wins the header, and now Glenorchy out the back. He's got Mearns bursting. He's played it to the business. Rolls it down the line. They're on here with Dawu. Chips into the path of Mearns. Controls. He's got an option here. And McCarthy is denied. Second time out the Olympia Lakoseljac Cup champions. James McCarthy, 4-1.
Wow, and you've got to say, was that just not the most sensible play that you'll see from your Czech striker right there? Just holding up the play, giving it a bit of time, looking forward to Adawu. Looks to Mearns, plays it comfortably to McCarthy. Brilliant save again from Nesta, but he just cannot do it all, the poor man Nesta, and a very good second effort there from McCarthy to wrap it up and make the Olympia Warriors the statewide Lakoseljac Cup champions.
Yep, they'll be off to the FFA Cup round of 32, June 29, the draw for that one. They've got a few weeks. Will they see they draw? But there's no doubt now they will be Tasmania's representative in that competition, and a well-earned representative. They have been outstanding today, the Warriors.
Yeah, I think they have. They've just been extraordinary. And after wrapping up the under-20s that we're all here for on the Friday night, it's been some weekend for this club.
Yeah, very good weekend indeed. The Knights are still going to throw everyone forward here to try and conjure something up. Long throw, Harrison flicks on, Allsop sets it for Duck Engel.
Oh, and there's life.
Oh. A flicker of a
pulse.
Hey,
a flicker of a pulse.
all I got to say is South Melbourne a couple of months ago, boys.
Oh, boys.
4 goals in 10 minutes, it can be done.
And the responses here. The responses here today from the goals from both sides have been very good.
Yeah.
Duck Engels with a thumper after the little layoff there from Daniel Allsop.
They probably would
Can we have some late drama? 4-2 it is.
They would have liked that combination in about the 10th minute, Knights, rather than the 88th, but you never know.
Yeah, still a 2-goal buffer. Still pretty comfortable, I reckon, here, the Warriors. But certainly we've seen the goals conceded just after they've scored on 2 occasions now, these teams in the game. As Shay Hickey is going to be introduced into the contest here.
It's a sensible.
What a sensible decision.
And Warren
Wadawu.
off
And the crowd are going nuts. He was spectacular today, Warren Wadawu.
And what a person to bring on, Shay Hickey, the midfield general, one of the greatest players to have been in southern Tasmania here for the last 10 years. I believe he's won a cup previously as well, so...
Just a cool head for
they go bang again, though, the Olympia Warriors from the kickoff. Look to get it out wide, but it's just headed away by James to General Sherman, who just blasted out of play, really, to nobody in particular. There'll be a throw in here to be taken by Vandermeer for Olympia. Just really a couple of minutes away now, unless the Knights can conjure up what would be a bigger miracle than the bread and the red wine.
It would surpass that on the Miracle Power Rankings, as this one's long in the Duck Engels direction. Stevens on hand to deal with it onto the Chester. Cartwright took it well, worked it to Hickey. Hickey to Glenorchy. He's got the Biz in a little bit of space here. And the Biz just...
Can they wrap it up?
Thinks his way through it. He crosses. It's a thumping header, and it's just wide of the mark from Shay Hickey. They almost just etched his name into the score sheet there, and Knights, well, they've got no time. They've got to move it quickly. They do. Lunging challenge from Cartwright was good. Here's James. He'll spread it back across to Harrison. Presumably everyone's going to get forward, and he's just going to lump it up there. That he does. He sends it along. Lucas Hill breaks it up, and a cool little touch to get round Brown. Works it to
and he's
Hickey.
off too.
Well, not entirely sure why he is.
Not entirely sure why he's off either, but why not? We'll give it to him.
It'd be good if he goes to the corner
flag.
The opposite corner flag now, as he gives it to Cartwright. This is good clock management from the Warriors.
Very good.
Very professionally done. Cartwright, he's as strong as an ox. Good luck stopping him. He's still going Cartwright. Eventually
trying to walk
from
at him.
And the Knights now break, but they've got to score 2 goals in stoppage time. Duck Engels played it behind Brown. He couldn't control it, and that'll be another 20 seconds.
And he did have the other Brown on the overlap on this right-hand side, but we're getting close now.
So
we just see the Olympia president head down to probably what is his bench to get around the boys and celebrate, I think.
he'll just be inserting himself into the post-match media. Don't you worry about that. Here's Van der May now. Puts a cross in, but dealt with by Phillips. Here's Brown. They need to score here, the Knights. Broken up. Hickey comes in. Made it back well.
Ball just gets tipped out here to Van der May, who tries hard to keep it in, but a throw in for the Knights, and you've got to think they must score with this play right here now. The Hail Mary time.
It is certainly Hail Mary time, but unfortunately at the moment they've just penned in here. That's good covering defence there from McCarthy.
And they've done it the whole game, the Olympia Warriors, really. They just get numbers around the ball immediately, and they've pressured this Knights team all day, and it's really limited the amount of chances that they could create.
Just ball clear, and we actually saw Kenny Weston there still barking instructions to his team at the corner of his technical area in the 92nd minute. Surely that's got to be celebratory instruction, surely not tactics. See.
He's the ultimate professional, Kenny Weston. Don't you worry about that. He won't be celebrating till this one's done.
Yeah, I'm just questioning whether that went in. Actually, it didn't go in. So there's another 20 seconds pulled with Andrew Cooling's most annoying rule he wants getting changed.
Yeah, I do. I reckon that was Kenny Weston's tactical instruction. So throw it out in late time. I'm serious, Paul. I'm not joking. That's the type of stuff he'd come up with. Here's the cross. Should be dealt with by Hills. Is that handball?
Whoa.
Is that handball? No, says Copra. And Merds will take it away. Well, that would have been an interesting stick in the tail. Cartwright comes bundling on through the rampaging bull, and the Warriors are broken out behind here. They've got an overlapping run if they want to use it. They go back to Hill instead. He sends it over the top, and Glenorchy is going to get there first. The Czech striker. Does he go corner flag or goal?
He's got to go
striker. What do you reckon?
He's a striker. He's only doing one thing.
And he wins a corner, which will be just as good because they'll soak up some more time, and I don't think there's time left now for 2.
He had hat-tricks in his eyes, didn't he? But wins the corner. So I suspect that the Olympia Warriors might just take this one short, Andrew.
I think the market's been set at $1.
And there it is, Cartwright just coming in out of your shot now to take it short. Declan Brown just trying to get into the protected zone there. He sells a bit of candy up the line, does Cartwright, and wins another corner. Takes another 30 seconds off the clock, and you got to say, there's seconds away here, the Olympia Warriors. You can hear the anticipation building in the fans around me.
Yeah, they know their moment of triumph is upon them. The corner taken short. The whistle can't be too far away here. Hickey goes back. Offside, so Knights will get a chance to lump it forward, but I don't think they've got time to score 2. The Warriors, they've been fantastic today, and they are on the precipice of victory now. Long ball away by Van der May. Here's Bellini with a massive up and under. It's going to come down with snow on it. Away by Stevens. Glenorchy just tried to roll off the defender. He couldn't.
And there's going to be 5 minutes of added time by the look of it. Just letting it run, hoping for a bit more magic of the cup, I think, the referee. But you have to say, the Warriors look comfortable now.
Yeah, they certainly do. As Cartwright tries to play a nice ball forward. In the end, it's just thump clear, and Surely Dimitri Nestor's just going to pump this one forward. He actually doesn't, just hits Tyler Harrison.
Look at the watch from Copra. He can't be too far away now. Mearns got there second but won the ball. Glenorchy turning with it. Spreads it wide. They've got a 3-on-3 but they've rather butchered it. They just want the final whistle.
It's becoming agricultural out there now, isn't it, boys?
It is. There's not much finesse in the last 5 minutes. We see the ball turned over. Duck Engels smashes it in the head and still we go on.
Handball against Cartwright. Surely the final whistle is imminent.
Where's he gotten all this extra time from, boys? I thought this whistle should have gone 2 minutes ago.
Long ball from Sherman. Repelled. The Biz went up for it. Now McCarthy away. Brown cuts back inside. Cartwright. McCarthy sends it wide. Shea Hickey, he's soldiering after it. He might have got there 10 years ago, but he was in his mid-30s, but he couldn't quite get to that one. Long ball from Harrison. Back again.
Look at the watch from Copper and still nothing.
He's just teasing it out here. Copper.
He is.
Oh, the Biz. It was worth it so he could witness that from the Biz. He centres it for Mearns. They've got another one on here for Shea Hickey. Well, perhaps fitting Nestor will end with a save. He's been outstanding. But there's only so much you can do. Plus the Olympia Warriors are Lakoseljac Cup champions. They beat the Glenorchy Knights 4-2 and progress to the round of 32 of the FFA Cup. I'll leave you with Paul Hunt and Jake Morgan for a little post-game.
Yeah, what a fantastic match that was in this Lakoseljac Cup final. Congratulations
to the Olympia Warriors.
To the Olympia Warriors. And Jake Morgan, what did you think of that match overall?
Oh, look, they really deserved it. You have to say, the Olympia Warriors. There was a couple of world-class goals in there too, you have to say. Particularly Glenorchy coming in for that third goal from the delivery by the postman, Warren Wadawu. But tell you what, it's almost impossible to pick a man of the match. They were that good, isn't it?
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that when our very good partner went downstairs. I mean, Cartwright and Mearns in the centre were dominant. So were Hill and Stevens at the backs. Glenorchy with 2 goals. I don't know, I'd be inclined to go either Mearns or Glenorchy, but I still can't split them yet.
I'm struggling to split. I think Mearns and Warren Wadawu, I think they were absolutely marvellous today. As we can just see, there's a fire been lit. There has been a fire lit down the end. I'm not sure where the ultras were sitting.
I'm not sure how that's going to go on the fake turf of KGV, but anyway.
I'll tell you what, they're resorting to arson here. They're not too happy.
No, certainly not the front line. It's what they get when they make an appearance for the first time in 2 years. They just start calls and menace. But I do want to say a word about the Knights players. Although as a collectively as a whole they didn't win tonight, they had a few very good performances. I thought Dimitri Nestor
he was
in goal was great. I thought Jay Clay, for a defence that conceded 4 goals, I thought he had a really good game. I guess the issue with the Knights is everything a bit further forward than that. I can't really give too much praise for.
They looked isolated at times, but that didn't really come down to a poor performance from the Glenorchy players, but rather an excellent pressing display from this Olympia Warriors side, who are the deserved Lakoseljac Cup champions.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that, as we see the Olympia Warriors congratulating each other in the park there, and the president, who was just up here with us watching on our TV
putting
screen,
a bit of pressure on us, wasn't he?
Yeah, I know. He was getting a bit jittery when as soon as he came up here, the penalty was awarded to the Knights. So I thought he might have been a bit of a bad luck charm, but it eventually evened out. And I think we're just awaiting the presentations here, especially of that
gigantic cup,
bright, absolutely huge new trophy. And just by comparison, I think is that the old one next to the small, lovely hue and pine number, which quite a pretty trophy, but that is a huge trophy.
All the more satisfying to lift.
Yeah, absolutely is.
As the crowd goes nuts for their victorious champions here, the Olympia Warriors faithful that have turned out here in Glenorchy to cheer on their team, who have become the under-20 champions and now the senior men's champions.
Absolutely.
And deservedly so.
We've got the Vuvuzela, we've got the air horn in full effect here, and the Knights are just having a small debrief on the far side, but all the plaudits for the Olympia Warriors.
Together for a wonderful game of football.
As Glenn McNeil belting out a good luck charm for the Olympia Warriors, Jake Morgan. I was doing another piece of research which will shock you. Last time Olympia and Glenorchy Knights played in a cup final together, 1968.
1968.
And you know what Olympia did that year?
What did they do?
Won the treble.
Whoa.
Won the cup final, won the league, and then won the league final series. So a very good omen here.
A big shout there from Paul, and it's a wonderful piece of trivia. Been doing your research. You know the game properly, mate.
Oh, look, you gotta try.
Oh, especially since we get paid these days.
Oh, yeah, we are paid well up here in the substitutes commentary box.
The winner tonight is Nicholas Mearns.
Yeah, and you have to say that Nick Mearns absolutely deserves being laid on the best player on the ground because he really was marvellous. He did have a bit of competition from Wadawu, Glenorchy, and probably Lucas Hill, the mountain, as well, but a deserved winner of the man of the match because just showed some dribbling prowess out there, didn't he, Paul?
Oh, dribbling, tackling, passing. Look, he did the whole thing, and it's a very nice little trophy he's got himself there. A nice bit of hue and pine. Very, very Tasmanian touch on the trophy, which I like. And we'll see the captain of Olympia Warriors and the first goal scorer of tonight, Craig van der May, with our master of ceremonies, Glenn McNeil.
I'd like to thank the Glenorchy Knights. They've had a terrific run in the cup final. We've got some great results. You're a good team, and obviously we knew it was going to be hard, and you guys certainly delivered that, so thank you very much.
Yeah. Good words.
Yeah, very nice words there from Van der May.
Okay, Paul Stevens.
And now call up
Each of those victorious players, one at a time, and we'll just let him run through them.
Yep.
Nick Mearns, the Miz, Thomas Delaney, Jack Allen, Lauren Wadawu, Jacob Swenner, David Cole, Shane Cartwright, James McCarthy, Milwaukee, Shay Hickey, Mitch Stalker, and Tom Little. And how can we forget Kenny Weston, Frank Talbot, Evan Clayton,
Thunderous.
and Greg Hickey. Okay, the Lakoseljac Cup to be presented by Bradley Lakoseljac.
Say that.
Please congratulate Olympia FC Warriors 2017 Lakoseljac Cup winners and round of 32 entrants.
Don't they look happy about that, Drake Morgan? They're more than worthy winners of the cup final tonight.
And I think that is where Paul Funt and I will leave you.
I think that is. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Olympia Warriors, Lakoseljac Cup champions.
One, two, three. Can I get a picture real quick?